everybody, it is Super J here, and it is time for Super J's True Confessions from the Desert live with Super J and the Millennial, as well as the iGen Centennial. We had to correctly identify what Yakira is and classify her. So, we've been talking a lot about sex the last several weeks, well, probably what, two or three weeks, and every week that we're talking, there are more and more thoughts and topics that are coming up surrounding that. So it's been kind of difficult to just end it, and we're trying not to have 2-hour segments. And so I told my young folk that we're really going to work hard on trying to keep it a little shorter, even if it means we have to, go more weeks on the same topic. So, in keeping with sharing the love, which is our theme here, we are going to talk about sex versus intimacy in 2017. Now, I'm really excited about this topic because with this topic, the Millennial and the iGen Centennial actually get to speak a lot about their idea of sex/intimacy. If they're the same thing, are they different, are they part of the same? But they actually are going to get a chance to speak a little bit more in this particular stream. So, we're just going to say hello.
Why is that, Mom?
Why is what?
Why are we talking more?
Because you guys are the ones who's hanging out in 2017. Out there doing your thing.
So are you?
What do you mean, so am I?
Sound bad.
I know. What
What do you mean we're doing our thing?
I'm saying you guys are the ones who are youthful, spry, and alive in 2017. So we want to hear from you guys a little bit.
So, Mom just said she's not youthful. Or spry.
It's a very strong possibility that is the truth. Okay, so, John, how are you doing today?
I'm good. See, it's a good Sunday. I had good sleep. Although my stomach's been hurting a lot. But I had some good sleep, so I'm good.
We have stomach issues in this family because my stomach's been messed up too.
It's called being, what's the word? Lactose intolerant.
Well, I think mine's a little different. I don't know what's going on with me, so I just have issues.
All I know is I haven't really slept in the last 3 days that well. I've been staying up till 5 o'clock in the morning, not on purpose. It's just what's been happening. So the fact that I actually went to sleep at 1:30 was pretty cool.
Yeah, actually it is. I'm usually up around 3 or 4, just kind of wandering, and I see him up every night. But that's cool. So
that's another thing this family does. We don't sleep.
We don't sleep very well. Yeah.
I sleep more than both of them, but I go in and out just like Mom does. John just stays up for some reason. I'm like,
I don't mean to.
He's
It's
tripping.
just I can't sleep.
He's tripping.
So anyway, we want to go ahead and get this started. My daughter earlier this week asked me some questions, and I was talking to our counselor, and I said that I wanted to say something to the counselor without Yakira
She's trying to be exclusive.
without Yakira and Jonathan. And Yakira's like, well, what is it so much that you have to say that we can't hear, Mom, and all this kind of stuff. And so my take on that really was that I wanted to talk to her about some things and how appropriate it would be to share some of these things with my young people. Now, I'm one who has no issue whatsoever talking to my young people. No issue whatsoever. But I think there are times when the topic of discussion should really be more coming from their frame of reference versus mine, because you really are the ones who are dealing with how things are operating today. So we're talking about sex versus intimacy. Where this came from was Yakira basically said she wanted to revisit a topic that we had on episode number 13 of True Confessions, when she had one of her best friends, Olivia, who's bisexual. She claims bisexual. She was on the stream, and the conversation had to do with sex being just sex or something else. And I think the reason they got so passionate about it was because the men on the stream made the mistake of suggesting that females are so emotional, that they are the emotional ones, that as soon as sex becomes a part of the relationship, the female is going to be so emo and head over heels in love. And Yakira felt,
That's BS. I will censor myself. That's some BS.
and why do you say it's some BS?
I feel like the reason men have this idea that females are supposed to be like super emotional is, first of all, you know, television makes it that way. Like anytime there's a comedic joke about females, it's us crying, woe is me kind of thing. But also, you know, females. Well, no, you see it on, you know, movies all the time when it's like a joke. You know, you see them crying and stuff like that, and they're just a mess.
They at least have
But-
to keep crying.
Keep crying.
Not often, but anyway. The reason I feel like females are seen as emotional is because we are the caregivers, we are the nurturers, we are the ones who are we are the ones who take care of the children and stuff like that. Most of the time. Well, I mean, we create. It's like we carry them and we nurture. They're like, if you really think about it. So,
You said it's cardio.
No, I said it's a part of it.
Oh, a part of you.
exactly. So it's just like, because of that, we're automatically going to be more empathetic. Empathetic, not more emotional. Keyword empathetic. We understand emotion doesn't mean we are more emotional than men. I've met so many guys who are my age who try to claim that they are hard, but as soon as I tell them that I don't like them, now all of a sudden I'm not, I'm ugly, I'm a thought, I'm, you know, all the horrible things in the world, but 2 seconds ago I was the most beautiful female in the world. So it's just like,
that ego got blasted.
exactly, but if a guy rejects me, I'm not calling you a man hoe. So
Man
right there,
hoe.
y'all are more emotional because it's attached to ego. Right there, you guys become more emotional. Right there. Same thing with freaking, and I'm bringing this up because Mom's talked about it before, freaking dick pics. As soon as a female
She's
says,
talking about the penis, guys, if y'all didn't know.
I think they would know.
yeah, I'm like, I hope y'all know what I'm talking about when I say a dick
Not the
pic.
men.
You
No,
don't
not
know.
the men. I'm just saying guys, just generally for people who might not know what she's talking about.
Who doesn't know the dick pic?
That's what I was saying. Like, that's kind of general right there.
Anyway, it's like as soon as, okay,
No,
for some
man,
reason,
of course.
I don't know why men think that females want to see the penis. But first of all, penises don't look good in any way. Like in person or
She
in
said y'all's parts are ugly.
yeah, they really are. Like I don't know why men have this thing. Like
Well,
in
we
Austin,
will see
in
that.
Austin Powers, the mojo was his penis thing. Like, why is there so much in that one little piece of your body? Like, females don't even think about it that way. Like, their vagina. I think it's just because there's so much more to a vagina than there is to a penis. But anyway, back to the dick pic thing. I do not want to see your penis. Why does that make you mad? Why does that make you mad? And why do you feel the need?
Never understood that.
For some people, why do you feel the need? If I say no, why do you feel the need to violate me and send it
Send it anyway.
What what is wrong with you? It's nasty. It looks like a nasty little worm. Major pain. You nasty little worm. Please stop sending dick pics. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see him. I don't want to see him. I don't want to see your little man. I don't want to see him. Keep him to yourself. When we're in bed, you can bring him out. That's it. Otherwise,
And
virtually...
sometimes even then you need to
Exactly. Otherwise, virtually, I do not want to see him ever.
leave him in there.
Exactly. Jonathan? I'm sorry I attacked like all the men on the street for a second, but
Obviously, this is something that's very personal.
guys,
Yeah.
like these guys, especially guys my age, I cannot talk to a guy my age who is not, first of all,
Stupid.
they're freaking horny toads, and I don't know what's up with that. Can y'all get out of your dick for a second?
Get out of your dick, she said.
For a second,
For
damn
a
it.
second.
For a second.
Stupid.
And just like, stop. it's not something that I want to look at. Like, guys are so much more visual than females are. Females are more in their head, which is another reason why we might be like seen as more emotional, because we do think a lot. Like, we kind of overthink.
I would say y'all some overthinkers, overanalyze.
We overthink and overanalyze. I will give you guys that, because I do that a lot. But
y'all argue with yourself.
but I do not. I can visualize. I don't want to. Once you show me everything, you've kind of like devalued yourself. Like, now it's like, well, now I know what it looks like. And if I'm disappointed, it's even worse. Like, honestly, if it's not what I'm
disappointed,
because if it's not what I was expecting, like I said, we are visual. Like, I'm not a visual creature, so if I'm imagining what it looks like, if I'm imagining, the sculpting of your body, and then you decide to just show it to me, well, you ruin the surprise, first of all. And it's not what I imagined, second of all. So it's just like, well, it's there, and you're gross. So
it's there, and you're gross.
It's there, and you're gross.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, I got a lot of people. There's a lot of comments on here. Okay, we're just gonna do a social media check. Doug Rose said, "I'll be honest, I never sent her one." Who won?
Doug Rose.
Eddie Bailey said, "I'm watching, LOL." Sean Banks said, "Okay, now do we bring up topics?" Eddie Bailey said, "I think the same about vaginas." Like, you don't want
That's awesome. Good. You know what? I think they're all. Why do you think they say bumping uglies? Bumping uglies. Both ugly.
Doug Rose said, "A nasty worm. What the hell? Now I almost feel obligated to send it on." Doug Rose said, "I'm getting emotional now." And then Eddie said, "LOL."
All right, Doug Rose. We are going to. That's funny. I'm sorry. That's funny. At the end of the day, nasty little worm came from Major Payne.
Yes.
So it's a line in Major Payne. We love Major Payne. It's the funniest movie ever, and one of my favorites. So when I did personal training, I used to always say, "Killing is my business, ladies, and business is good." And all of my clients would look at me like, "Really?" And so then I'd have to like hurt them, No, I'm kidding. But anyway, so yeah, Major Payne. At the end of the day, Yakira has some real strong feelings about penises being flashed at her. I don't think she inherited that from me, guys. We all know, Super J got issues with the dick pics. Because I blast guys all the time. But Yakira, I'm kind of surprised, but not surprised.
It's not cute.
But here's the thing. Here's what I kind of want to know. You said you visualize in your mind, and then if you get to the position or the place where you're going to have sex, the surprise is ruined. You don't want to see it. And what kind of expectations you got?
Well, first of all, any guy that I get with is like should be pretty good looking, sculpted. So it's just like I have high expectations. You should have a nice body and a nice size, and it shouldn't look weird, So it's just like
it shouldn't look weird.
Exactly.
But that you really can't control.
What do you mean you can't control?
I mean, unless you're about to go get plastic surgery, you can't really control that.
I mean,
yes, Sean, you can bring up your topics. All right.
Eddie said, although women are more emotional than most men.
Okay.
Not true.
No, that is true. As a human being, yes, women are overall more emotional creatures. However, it depends.
You're talking about the woman versus the man.
Yes, because we do have the ability to.
Doug Rose said, "What is weird looking in your opinion?"
She'll get to that.
Yeah, we can come back to that.
As a whole, we are the nurturers. We are the ones who care a little bit more from an empathetic side, not so much from a sympathetic side. I think men have a greater ability to sympathize, but they're not necessarily empathic. And I think women are generally designed to be a little bit more empathic, okay? Exactly. So that means we feel what the other person feels, not just we can understand what they feel from a logical or intellectual standpoint. I think men oftentimes operate in that realm because it's safer for them. I'm not saying that that's where y'all live, okay? Because there's only certain safe emotions that being in the box allows you to have. That's anger, always cool to be angry. That is, what's another one? Like if you're protecting someone, you can be courageous. If you have someone who's very close to you who dies or is hurting or something like that, you're allowed to cry then, but no other time, you know. So this is about being in the box. Do I abide and really prescribe to that mentality and that thought process? No, because then the women get put in the flower, all right? And we're supposed to be emo. And that's what Yakira and her friend were kind of talking about, especially as it relates to interpersonal relationships. Now, I have, yes, heard of a Lorena Bobbitt who sliced her husband's penis right off because he was cheating on her. She sliced it right off.
No, that's not emo. That's freaking crazy. That's
yes,
psychopathic.
and that's what I'm going to say. But how many times have we heard about men who either found their female cheating on them, even if they're cheaters themselves, they want to go tear up the house and shoot everybody and all this crazy stuff. Why? I think it has more to do with ego than anything else. I don't even think their heart is that hurt.
Okay, so this is my thing. I feel like men's emotions drive from a different area.
Yes.
And this is why, and I said this already. I said if I reject a guy, at first I'm the most beautiful woman in the world, and as soon as I reject them, now I'm a thought, I'm a hoe, and I'm disgusting. That's an emotion. You're mad at me because I just rejected you. That's an ego thing. But it's still an emotion because you're mad. You're emo. You're still emotional. I'm not mad that you just called me a thought. I'm just laughing at you because you're emo. So
okay, let me address something. Monique Gamble, hey sissy, she said that on the Bloom taxonomy scale, women start out thinking on the analytical level versus men who start out on the knowledge level. Again, they're still more intellectual. I agree with that. And I do agree that, yes, women, we are much more analytical. And I think we keep those two traits. I think we keep it all the way forever. People are always...
This is a clear example.
What?
What do you mean?
Whatever. Jonathan's getting ready to pull a Mr. Spock. I'm so logical. They're analytical and emo.
No, that just happens to be what y'all are. That just happens to be that way. I'm actually the same on certain aspects, but when it comes down to it, that's why I have to be the buffer. I mean, there's no other explanation besides that. Because y'all will clash.
Okay, so Eddie, are you bragging, Eddie Bailey? Let me.
Did you read what he said, though? He said women drive off of emotion and men drive off of instinct.
Okay.
I agree with you to a part, but I also disagree because emotion isn't emotion technically instinct? Like, isn't it kind of like not necessarily, but like
Not necessarily, no.
what I'm trying to say is okay. So
No,
say not. Listen. Okay, let me use an example. Say you're about to die, right? You have an instinct to survive. Say someone hurts you. You naturally have a response, and that's an emotion.
Okay.
Just like you naturally have a response to survive, is what I'm saying.
Okay, well, let me read what Doug Rose said. Doug Rose said...
Not necessarily.
Hold on, let me address it. He said, okay, so I was joking about stuff, but this part is, I'm serious. He said, I don't think women are more emotional than men. I think, generally speaking, women express their emotions more than men. We feel the same, but we don't express it. We are quick to express happiness or anger. Yes, that's what I was saying. Mm-hmm. We will often show anger to cover up our sadness.
Exactly.
Man, you are preaching to the choir. I agree.
So we are expressionists. That's it.
That's what I've always believed in.
Hey, DJ Cranston.
Men tend to turn.
What I was saying though about the instinct thing is because I feel he's coming more from like an animal aspect where technically humans are animals. So as instinctual, an animal is instinctual to go hunt. An animal is instinctual to do certain things. There's no emotion attached to what it's trying to do. It's just doing it because it's what it's That's what it's made to do.
So let me ask you this. Hold on. All of you guys who really believe
There's so much going
that
on in this
I
conversation right
don't know if
now.
we're going to be able to keep up with y'all today. But we're loving it. This is what we always want. What was I getting ready to say? So y'all know, okay. I don't know if men are operating so much on an instinctual level
I don't
versus
think so.
women when it comes to sex. Okay, so yes, we all have the natural instinct to procreate, but I
think
do.
there's more to that.
I was going to say, but I do think there's something else behind that, because if it was just procreation and that was the only, right, nobody would be having sex recreationally, and I believe
There
that
would be no falling in love.
right. I believe that God made sex the way it's made. Our bodies were designed so that we would be drawn to do that, but I also believe it was designed so that we would enjoy that fact. And that
well, yeah, that's why you have the certain chemicals that when you're in those moments actually heighten certain emotions like happiness or the feel of joy or just certain things that are there. Endorphins spike all that stuff up. You know what I'm saying? Like sex shoots all those chemicals way up, and all the bad emotions or feelings you might think you have, those things can be wiped out just because your chemicals, the chemical imbalance in your body is just getting spiked up with a bunch of happy stuff.
Okay, so two things here that I have to go back to. Eddie Bailey, Eddie, you are a nut. You are really a nut. He said, well, everyone likes to see a donkey. No, everybody don't. I'm sorry, but he says everybody likes to see a donkey, but I've only sent when requested by someone I was messing with. Okay, you keep thinking that, okay? You keep thinking that. And Deborah wants to know from you, Yakira, what is weird looking in
You
your
are so
opinion?
far back.
I know I'm back. We gotta catch up. We'll come back.
Honestly, weird looking is like curved and bumpy.
Curved and bumpy.
Like, you know how some people, their stuff goes upwards? You've never encountered
Like
that?
a hook?
Yeah, like it
The
goes
hook?
upwards.
So you're Captain Hook, huh? You don't like Captain Hooks?
No, that I feel like that'd be very uncomfortable. And honestly, I encountered this. One of my friends was talking about this, and this is a very like controversial, and I might get on like some people's emotions with this. Uncircumcised penises gross me out. Like honestly,
When have you? Stop the presses. Hold on. I have only seen one uncircumcised penis in my lifetime. How the heck have you come across one?
I've only seen one. What are you talking about? And they're gross. So that's all that matters.
When did you see that?
Mom, some questions don't need to be answered. Just like you didn't want to ask. It wasn't no old ass man, but just like you didn't want to answer who you just recently had sex with that was horrible.
I didn't say I had sex with someone recently.
You said like a year or two ago. That's recent for you. Itty way.
Just tell my business. She's saying I don't get very much action, but little does she know. No, I'm kidding. You don't
All I know is what she tells me. So that's what she said. She said recently could have been a year or two ago. You never know.
Exactly.
So that's what I said.
Okay.
But anyway. Anyway, I honestly could not, like, if I were to date someone and it ended up being that they had an uncircumcised penis, I don't think that I could stay with them for very long.
Wait. Carrie said Captain Hook hurts G-spot better.
Wait, what?
Captain Hook hurts G-spot better.
Where are you?
I'm down here. I'm not sure what that means. I'm not sure.
I think she means hits. I think she means hits G-spot better.
Oh wait, then she said, Jill, how unfortunate to only see one. Honey, no, it was not unfortunate, Carrie. That was like, yeah, I'd rather not.
Dang, Eddie said, I think I would be depressed if I was uncircumcised.
You're not uncircumcised. I mean, you're circumcised. Okay. Yes, I think you would be depressed too. But you know what?
Y'all are going after these people, right?
The guy who was uncircumcised, he was a really nice guy, you know. But he should have sent me a dick pic.
Lord. Allow me me to prepare myself.
He
That's what
should
you
have
said.
sent me one.
You could have allowed me to prepare myself. Thank you, sir.
I wasn't
said
ready.
run, LOLs.
I wasn't ready. Let's just put it that way. And I am 50 years old and have only seen one. And I was in my 40s when I saw that one. So that lets you know I really wasn't ready.
Those really look like worms.
Well, let's not talk about them. I agree with you, Eddie, and I agree that guy probably should have sent me a picture, and I would have helped him understand.
But I think though,
that-
like for people who are uncircumcised, it's not like it's unnatural for them. Like they don't think about it that way.
No, because I mean that usually happens.
Yes, yes, Carrie, that is the truth. The person happened to be someone from the South, so that's interesting. She said men from the South are circumcised less than men from the North.
I've noticed.
How do you guys see? These aren't coming up on mine. Carrie,
Because they're my
That's
friends.
Yeah, you
yeah,
guys
but I'm
are
seeing
friends.
some first. I
Oh
see
wait, you
Carrie.
should
Yes,
have
it's not hers.
It'll come up later.
No,
Oh, it's in there.
It's not coming up, Mom.
It might be coming up later though.
It'll come up
Because
later.
ours is
So,
very kids and that one.
Yeah.
could be
I
a first.
think-
She said yes, hits not hurts.
Yes, hits, not hurts. So you think the Captain Hook hits the G spot better?
Well, yeah.
I'm
Anatomically speaking, yeah.
gonna tell you something.
I mean,
Well,
Anatomically speaking,
it would depend on the position you're in, though.
yes.
Because anything can hit the G spot depending on.
well, that
the
one more
position.
directly hits it because it's already curved in that position.
Ew.
Well, think about it. It's the bridge that's only 4 inches in.
Aesthetically pleasing, it is not though.
That's-
So
yeah,
that's
that's
all I
what you're
care.
saying.
That's what I'm
You're
saying.
saying aesthetically versus anatomically. Yeah, it's different.
Eddie, I'm laughing at your stuff. I'm just laughing.
Anatomically speaking, you only need 3 to 4 inches and then up.
John, no one's talking. Why is he always talking about science in like? He makes me think. Hold on, no. He makes me think of homeboy from World of Dance, the technique, the choreographer guy. In every conversation we have, he's always talking about technical stuff. Like, what the hell?
Because you gotta clarify on what's going on here. Y'all just saying stuff. I'm like, look, that's
So-
the reason why they make these comments. Because technically speaking,
So-
this is this.
Jonathan has technological sex, I guess. Last week he was telling us that he has to have all kind of conversation with the young lady about, how things are going to go. He doesn't just do it.
Well, no, it's not
He's
necessarily.
got to have all of this information.
I do, but it's not like
I don't need that.
It's not like an
See, that makes me wonder.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not.
is
like
he
an
analyzing the sex? Like, what?
And we were like, Ivan said, and that's why he's going to be good at it. Look,
Exactly. Thank you. I have
Okay.
never had one complaint because I ask a lot of damn questions. I ask a whole bunch of fucking questions. Shit. You gotta know what you're doing. You can't just be going at nothing like you crazy. Hell no.
so Doug all right, so he's going to be good at it. All right, but Doug says, well, based on this conversation, I am now secure in my manhood, knowing that it is not weird in that I am circumcised and I am not a captain. I'm sure your wife was probably happy about that. And you can be secure. You can be secure. But that's not the only thing that makes it, special. Needing the short bus, the special.
I mean, there's really nothing you can do about it. Like,
can't. I mean, like
it's not like a
you
girl
could,
with
but you can't,
makeup,
you know what I'm
but
saying? Like you could if you had the money to.
like, could you
really
flatten
can't.
it out if it was a captain? Or would that hurt?
You need a whole lot of money to do that.
Eddie says science is life. Okay.
All I gotta say is, it's not like an interrogation. It's more of an actual conversation between two people that enjoy something. I know she enjoys it, so if you enjoy it so much, well, what do you enjoy about it? Let me know on your secrets. That's all I'm saying. Because then it's personal. It's more personalized. It's personal to that person. I'm not just having sex. It's personal to this person, how that person likes it, how they want to be talked to, how they want to be touched. There's all kinds of things
I
that go into
agree that you should have conversation.
'Cause I mean-
do.
I have a question.
We're just
I
making
have a
sure
question.
it's always analytical and logical.
That's how I know.
However many of you,
No, it's
however many of you on here that have siblings, how many of you guys have this kind of conversation with your sibling? about them having sex with people.
Or your mom.
Yeah, or your mom. Like, honestly.
I'm gonna say it. I actually, I think that's where it comes from, is because we always did have these conversations, so we kind of start to jump out into my relationships. Because I thought it was always normal. You know what I'm saying? It's normal to have a conversation about it, because it's like, if you don't have a conversation about it, you shouldn't be doing it, number one. Number two, I don't feel comfortable. You know? I would never feel comfortable at that point, because now I'm like, well, shoot, am I, like, because in my head, I am analyzing, but I'm analyzing myself.
Yeah.
Am I doing this right? Does she like this? Like, I don't
So
need to
you
do
pay
all that.
attention.
Yeah.
I feel like, hold on, wait.
I feel like I need to do all
I feel like for guys, it's easier to tell if they're pleasing a girl.
No, it is not. At
Well,
all.
okay, well, girls can. Okay,
At
hold
all,
on.
'cause they are
Oh,
fake.
all right, dang it.
They are
Yes.
some damn fake.
Girls can
Hell
fake
no.
it. Hold on. Girls can fake it. There's that. But guys will be dead silent.
That's
Like,
'cause we
make
fucking
no
focus.
goddamn noise. Like,
We try to focus. Shit, we don't need to make
what are y'all? What
Focusing on.
exactly. What are you focusing
Well,
on?
sometimes- Hey, I got.
Maybe that's why y'all are so ugly when you finish. Just the ugliest faces.
Females have
man.
ugly ass faces too.
What?
They really do. There's some ugly ass face females up there.
Okay, wait.
That shit goes both ways.
So, Eddie said that's what does it for you. Ivan said, preach, young man, delivering sparkling customer service. Yours. Okay. And he also said he talks with his siblings, but not his mom. Carrie said she talks with her siblings about sex, but her brother is shy about it. And Eddie says, well, as young men, there's nothing wrong with having just sex.
No.
Think of
Because I've
it
never done that.
as cardio with someone you know. Okay.
That's what I've done that, but
We are focusing.
I like to enjoy myself.
We are focusing on y'all. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, on the female. Okay.
Yeah, when I say
Yeah.
focusing, I don't mean like focusing on
Them
ourselves. We're trying to.
So it's not a Cat Williams 1, 2. No, it's an
No.
ABC.
It's more like I said, it's the analytical, science in your head about yourself. So when you're focusing, you're trying to focus on like, am I doing this perfectly correct to the point where she's enjoying
It
it?
doesn't have to be perfectly correct.
I'm not saying
Look. I told you guys last week about my best friend when I was 16. Guys, it was a Jack and Jill situation for real. And I told you how neither one of us literally knew anything, but we experimented with each other. So, Eddie, where you say doing cardio with someone you know, kind of, sort of. But here was the thing, the funniest thing about it and the cool stuff about it was neither one of us were really we were all both kind of clueless and just trying to figure some stuff out, and you run into some really funny stuff. Let me tell you, we had some very, very, very funny days. And there were other days where, like I said, we got stuff right, but there was so much getting it wrong. It was so, and it's funny.
We don't deal with
It's
that.
funny. We got a lot
I
wrong
don't
as we
deal
were
with
learning. And that's okay. It was okay, though, because once I decided that was the place that I
But
would
see,
be
that's
going.
also your time.
Well, see, the other thing, though, is my sexual engagement and my sexual experience was so jacked up prior to that. I mean, I just had so much crazy, weird, bad stuff happen. So by the time I was making the choice that this is what I want to do and this is what I want to do, I had a best friend who, he's such a cutie. And we were really tight, and we talked about everything, and we did everything. We tried to figure out everything,
That's what I'm saying.
and it was
Also
okay.
your time.
But by the time I got with men, it was a little different story. I wasn't having a conversation unless they weren't getting it right. Now, if you're not getting it right, I'm going to give you a chance. I'm going to give you a good old run at it. But if you're not getting it right, then I will interject.
I don't
That's
think.
what I'm saying. That's your time.
I don't think that's just
Especially-
mom's time. I think that's
Well, no,
correct
it's
because.
almost worse now.
What do you mean?
They
it's
don't
almost
even
worse?
say that. They just smooth roll out.
Well, that's what I was
I'm
about
like,
to say.
yo.
I was talking
I've heard
about
some people
mom
not
experimenting
like
and stuff like
That, yes. But I'm talking about it's just sex itself where it all gets to the point where females are almost emotionless when it comes to that. I've seen a girl, like, it just not hitting her. She'll get up and leave. And I'm like, damn, that, like, for real? It was like that? Damn.
Yes. So, and even if you are a very experienced
I've never had
individual,
that.
what Carrie said was very few things are perfect the first time.
Yeah.
Eddie said, for me, it's a vicious cycle. The more I get turned on, the better I get, and vice versa. During the same session or the next time, you know.
Hopefully there's more. Okay, is this, y'all tell me if this is a high standard, but I would hope that there's multiple rounds in one session. Is that a high standard? Or can y'all not do multiple rounds?
How many
Well,
is
it also
multiple?
depends on your age and
Like,
physicality.
3 or 4.
3 or 4. In a night.
In a session, yeah.
24 positions in one night stand. Get off. Okay. I think men will have a difficult time with that.
I'm not saying y'all have to do it within an hour. Like, I'm
No,
just
but
saying.
I think many men, if you're talking 3 and 4 times and more than that in the same night, that may be, now in a 24-hour period, probably easy, but overnight may be a little challenging for a male to.
Yeah.
Now, can he get you off 4 times?
Yeah,
Probably.
That's easy.
It's easy. It's probably well, it's not necessarily easy.
Yeah, I was
but
like,
it's more likely to happen that if he's doing the right things for you, that you can have orgasms that many times. But for men, so much is taken out of them. You poor babies, y'all just.
Urban
lose so
said
much
not at all.
strength
Some
and
folks are
energy.
built for mini sessions, but it's
Some
just
are, but is that
make it when you make it or he makes it?
Because I don't know. I get
She's talking about y'all making it to the finish line early. She's talking about, can a man do this 4 and 5 times?
I can say yes, because like I said, for me, I always get hella energy. I get energetic all of a sudden.
Wait a minute.
I get energy. I'm fucking like.
He's like, I'm back. Let's go. Round
No,
3.
like there's times where they're like, "Oh, all right, I'm done." I'm like, "But I'm not. Bring that ass here. Come back. Where are you going?"
Well, if you didn't get finished, that's one thing.
It wasn't even
Why
that.
you running?
Sometimes we both.
Why you running? Why you
That's what I'm
running?
saying. It's like, sometimes we both were finished, but I'm like, "Oh, time out. No. Bring that ass back here. Let's go. One
Why you
more
guys
time.
said bring that ass?
One more time. Bring that ass back. Come on."
You nasty.
Stop
being nasty.
I'm just saying, man. There are some people that I guess it is just like a physiological thing where they're just built for it. Because I get energetic. Like, it's almost like I take the other person's energy.
Sergeant Rowe, Jonathan needs to go do a ruck march. He's getting too energetic over here.
That don't mean nothing.
Carrie said Prince
A rough
agreed
march
with Jill
After
regarding
that, you
multiple
still get energetic.
times.
It's all them endorphins.
Carrie said Prince agreed with Jill regarding multiple times, especially as we age. Eddie said no, it should be a 12-round championship. He
I'd
said,
like to see that.
he
Eddie.
said vodka helps.
Vodka slows and numbs everything.
That's why.
What? Yeah, but that's.
But no, see, he's not
I
saying
wanna
get
be able
drunk.
to
No,
feel
he's
it.
not saying get drunk. I think for as for males,
Girl, bye.
it's something that
Are
I've
you
seen
even
like a bunch of
functioning
my guys
after
do.
orgasms?
And I've noticed that if you get like slightly buzzed, not like drunk or like sloppy or anything like that, but if you get slightly buzzed, there's this like almost weird sense of control.
Okay.
Like, physically, you can almost like you understand how to control. Like I don't know.
All
I
I'm
know is this
imagining is
weird
just
feeling of
heat and
control.
sweating. That would gross me out.
So
No, no,
here's the thing, because we've got multiple opinions. Some say 3 and 4 is not enough, is what Antoine Jones says.
I was being courteous with 3 and 4.
3 and 4 is not enough. Carrie is like, well, probably it's a little more challenging.
Eddie said, I personally like to see who taps out first.
That's what I'm saying. It's a fucking competition here. It's a challenge. Let's go. Let's go. I'm ready.
I feel like for younger people, that's the case.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like,
That's why we're
what's
talking
good,
about
you know?
sex versus intimacy in 2017.
Like, what you think you gonna do, huh? You ain't gonna put me down. I'm telling you, I will die before you put me down. Let's go down.
Clap on.
That's what I'm saying.
It's about
I'm just sitting there like this.
to go down.
Be like, look, top half, sorry, I'm tired up here. But we still going, I don't care. We
But
good.
that only works for somebody that you're really into, cause like,
Mm-hmm. But that's the other thing too. I don't really like to. I think I've only
Cheryl,
maybe
help
3 or
us.
4,
Help me, please.
maybe
I'm
3 or
stuck
4 like
between
with
these
campus.
two.
Like I said, when I was having issues mentally, and I kind of was just going after anybody. I'm not gonna lie, I had a dark period. I had a really bad dark period.
He just going after anybody?
Not necessarily anybody, but I mean, I was definitely out there like that. Because I remember there was a couple times I got in trouble, and DJ had to come get me because I was out there doing too much.
He was doing the
I was
most.
doing too much.
Okay, so Jakira, Irvin said, "Girl, why are you even functional after 4 orgasms?" I mean the big ones. See, here's the problem.
Excuse you.
Here's the problem. See, here's my issue here now. I'm at a crossroads because I don't know. I know what happens for me. We talk a lot about sex. Obviously, we're very clear and comfortable. I'm not sure we've placed the scale of what's big, what's little, what should be expected, what, for some folk, any. But here's the thing. Females have the ability to have multiple orgasms at the same time. So that first one can be a whole bunch of them, okay, together. Men, you guys don't have the ability to have multiple orgasms at the same time. So your physiology is a little different. You guys, you may be able to have more than one, but you're not going to hang with us on how many you can actually have. So, because we'll beat you every time.
And ours lasts for a really long time at times.
Sometimes. Yeah, if you're having those multiples, you could be there for a while. I
Just
personally
twitching. Just
They
Oh
look
my
like that
God.
procedurally.
Oh, you guys, look up. Somebody look up on YouTube. I can't remember who showed this to me, but it was so gross. It just looked so painful. This lady had to go to the ER because she was having orgasms for it was like 2 hours or something, and she was just stuck in this orgasm for all this time. And she went to the ER. This is on YouTube, I promise.
That's unfortunate.
It was the most. I was like, oh. That don't even look fun.
I rebuke you.
That does not even look fun. That looked painful. And
like it sounds like it would.
it was just, I was horrified. After watching that, I was like, now why would anybody want to do that? Why would you do that?
That's what I'm saying. Like that don't sound fun at all.
How did that happen? What would
She, the physician and the nurse just said some people that happens to, but it's like her brain got stuck in a loop, and she just continuously. I mean, it was like
That's
2 hours straight, no stop, nonstop. She had to go to the hospital.
That's crazy.
So you talk about sending them to the hospital, putting them in a wheelchair. Yeah, that was real.
That's where that comes from.
That was real. And I can't even fathom that. I can't
Craziest ER
imagine
stories.
I know. I can't. That would be horrible.
That's actually,
That
I'm
is
probably
that's-
traumatized because I'd be like, oh, because I know.
Did you hurt? Did you
That's-
break
yeah.
her?
I'm like, did I do that? Jesus, I'm so sorry.
I've never.
I mean, we was playing, but I was just playing. This is not a game no more.
Oh, who saw that? Who said they saw that? Eddie, you saw that? Oh my gosh,
He's laughing.
that was not funny. That was not funny. That was horrible as far as I was concerned.
Antoine said, I think it turns into an ego thing when you have someone issuing a challenge to you, and if a woman tries you, then you have to show
it's
out.
definitely
9
ego
to
thing.
10,
It's definitely an ego thing.
you're gonna have to pull a hashtag trigger.
Pull off the stops.
Okay.
By the way, hi Sierra.
So, hey Sierra. Okay, so here's the question then. All right. So let me just move away from these young folk and their all y'all's multiples here. It is okay for me sometimes to not have sex at all, and I'm okay. I am
That's
a
not the discussion
spooner.
we're having.
I know, but listen, I am a spooner, and so no, I'm not. So we're talking about intimacy or sex versus intimacy. I think for we who may be a little older, we are okay with being intimate with individuals without necessarily having sex. Sex may become a part of it, it might not. But I think we have the ability to be excited, happy, and perfectly good on occasion if we are just having an intimate encounter and not sex. But the young folks...
No. Don't even say that. Don't finish that sentence. That's 100% not true.
Yeah.
That's the ideal relationship, is to not focus on sex.
We
These
just
young
like having
folk,
it a little bit more, but
because
a lot more.
because sex is shoved down our throats so much, to such a high extent, we want a relationship to where it's not only about sex. It's so hard to find a relationship. It's so hard to find a person who doesn't only want sex nowadays. It's the relationship world at this point in my generation is friends with benefits. That's all you get at this point. Like, you cannot have a boyfriend or a girlfriend at this point. It's ridiculous. I wish that I could just find a person who's like, I don't want to have sex. Like, I just want to sit here, watch a movie, and cuddle. Let's watch a chick flick. Like, honestly, like, but it doesn't, like, that does not happen because we're these young folks. And one of my coaches, I'm in Lion King right now, and I play Mufasa. My coach told me, she's like, you act like you're 30. I'm like, I turned 18 in August. She's like, you act like you're 30. And I'm like, these young folks, like, they cannot not think about sex. Everything is so sexualized. And I'm like, that is not what I want in a relationship. I don't want to have sex all the time. I don't want to just, like, lick stuff off. You know, it's just like, that's not the focus.
We ain't trying to do no Christian Grey out here.
Lick stuff. What?
I was going to say lick whipped cream. Because we have whipped cream in the fridge, but...
Now she's talking about the whipped cream in the refrigerator.
See what I'm saying? We ain't trying to do
I
no
put
Christian
that
Grey,
whipped
50 Shades
cream
of Grey
on
stuff.
top of frozen yogurt.
Actually, 50 Shades of Grey, that story is a little bit more romantic than the actual BDSM world. Like that.
It is. It's more romanticized. I still am not trying to do all that.
You don't have to do all that.
I'm just saying.
Nobody asked you to.
I agree though with the fact that we are at a realm for whatever reason now where everything is like this friends with benefits, or can I just do something with you and then we don't have to ever see that? I don't understand.
Never have to see your ass again.
I like intimacy just as much as I like. The thing is, I think I like intimacy more because it makes sex more pleasurable because I'm doing it with somebody that I'm also intimate with on a more mental and emotional level. So it makes everything better.
There's a bond.
The icing on the cake is sex, yes, but it's like relationship-wise, it's definitely intimacy.
But the icing on the cake is not sex. I don't agree with that. Hold on. So Eddie said intimacy is the evolution of just sex. I don't agree with that either. Because you're saying intimacy is the evolution of just sex, which means sex came first or has to come first. And that's not true. You can be intimate with someone and it leads you to sex.
That's like the thing.
Yes, but I'm just saying, I don't agree that you have to,
She doesn't agree with Eddie, is what she's saying.
I don't agree with what he's saying is that one is the evolution of the other. Say what you said again, and I'll tell you.
I was saying that intimacy is what we're looking for. It's the foundation, and that's what I want most. It just so happens that if sex came with that.
Oh, you said intimacy is the end result of sex. Didn't you say
no? He said sex is the icing on the cake.
Oh, sex is the icing on the cake. Yeah. That's what it was. Okay.
I can see that because icing is like something that's like, ooh, I like it.
It's not
like,
the foundation. It's not the cake.
Yeah, it's like I don't need it. Like the cake is like
the cake is your intimacy.
You can't just eat icing. Like that's nasty.
So you're saying the opposite of Eddie then?
Exactly. That's what I'm like. Why would you disagree with me? We just said the same thing. I said that intimacy.
I thought that was a fart.
Wow.
Like, I was like, ah!
We're saying that intimacy is the foundation. That's what I need to really, like, get to know somebody, get to understand them, and then like them. And then if sex came, let's say, after that, or if sex came even before that, I would still want intimacy, especially if I actually like this person,
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it doesn't make that any more better. Like, if you had sex with a person before you got intimate, and then you got intimate with them, and then you had sex again, that second time is just like so much better than the first time, because just like, wow, I really like this person, I can really enjoy this person. That is the real kind of stuff that we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but at the end of the day, a girl still got her needs.
She's talking about
that's
me.
both ways though.
But here's my thing. All right, so it looks like I have in some respects, set up some pretty good expectations that I don't have just a horny toad on either end, not from my daughter or from my son, but maybe.
That's another reason I think also I ask questions though, is because I'm trying to be intimate. Like those intimate questions, it's another form of emotional, mental. Like we're on the same wavelength with some of these things when I'm asking these questions and when we're having this conversation. It's like, how comfortable can we both be? Are we both clicking on the same vibe right now when we're having this conversation? What other things can we talk about where we're just vibing together and we're just boom, boom, boom? You can almost finish my sentence because you know what I was thinking, or I know what you were thinking, you know? Stuff like that.
So let me ask this question, because Eddie said, he actually agrees with what we're saying. He says, but if you're intimate with a person, it's never just sex. I'm going to come back to that, but the other thing is, can we just talk? Here's my question about the can we just talkers. All right. Now, you guys remember I read you guys a poem I wrote about this egotistical, spoiled brat named Miles, right? And the poem was called It's All About You. And he loved this poem, which was ridiculous because I was dogging the heck out of him because he was so self-centered and so egocentric. I mean, he's just so
ridiculous.
But he was so self-centered that he absolutely loved what I wrote about him, like from a negative perspective, but he saw it as positive. Anyway, my point is, he said to me one time that, you know, women, they're always so worried about, and this is my thing, this is a trick, girls, younger girls, to try to get your drawers off of you. I think this is a trick, because I don't believe this is true. What he said was, well, girls are always so worried about what this guy is going to think about her, you know, after she has sex with him or whatever. But at the end of the day, once she has sex with him, that draws the man in more. I'm like, boy, do you think I was born yesterday? Come on. Oh, so I need to have sex with you so that you're endeared to me now. Come on, that's a
guys nowadays. I don't think are that smart. So, like my generation guys aren't smart enough to come up with lines like that. Like, they literally are just like literally, I'll get lines like, "Oh, you wanna fuck?" And I'm like, "Do I know you? Like, what the fuck? Do I? Huh?"
Yeah, your generation is actually just more straightforward.
They really are. Like, there's no reason.
There's no finesse.
To them, yeah, there's no reason to go around, oh, women just think, you know, if I get into bed, I'm a slut. No. They're like, hey, you want sex? You want sex with me tonight?
Shoot me in the pussy.
No, shoot over the pussy.
Oh my goodness, Lord.
Snapchat me that pussy if it's cool.
They are
Snapchat me that pussy.
Her generation is the most
eat the booty like groceries.
Direct generation.
But you gotta eat the booty like groceries.
Like I said, her generation, most direct generation.
But now, see,
I know he was trying.
No. The reason that men have to be like, well, I'm not gonna call the guys that I deal with men because they aren't. But this generation of guys that I deal with, the reason that they have to be more upfront is because women are becoming smarter and are like, we play the game too. A diva is a female version of a hustler. Hey!
Some of them are becoming fem Nazis though.
Fem
Nazis, where they're like,
you're just like so just
anti-man.
You'd be like, all right,
that's not a good word. Don't say that word. That's not a good word.
Well, they really are anti-man.
Yes,
but that's not what.
That's what we use though. That's what this generation. That's what we call them.
Wow.
That's what
because
I'm saying.
they are
the
so like anti-man. Like
they
like
really are like almost how the Germans were with the Jews. They were so anti-Jew and nothing. That's how some of these girls are. I'm like, whoa, why? Whoa,
like they're like men don't deserve anything. Like there's no need for men in this world whatsoever. And I'm like, you realize this?
There's a couple of
but then again,
that ended up going on a killing spree. On a protest. They were supposedly protesting. They went on a killing spree, stomping on men everywhere they went.
Females did that?
Females.
Exactly. Like, females
and that's why they're calling them Nazis, because they're literally going out just doing brutal stuff to people. Like, what happened to you that made you go that far?
I mean, but there was a time where men were just horrible, though. Like,
I
get it.
Men, yes, can be horrible.
But a diva is a female version of a hustler.
But females have their times and their days where, you know, I'm going to tell you what.
I'm like, hey, everybody play the game. I don't care. Just don't kill each other. What's the problem? Like, what?
Can't we just love everybody and be
If y'all want to
happy?
play the game, play the game. I'm not a part of the game. If y'all want to play the game, do you. What? Why you got to kill people? I'm not understanding that part of it. Like,
Somebody's
what in the
feelings
world?
got hurt.
Damn, chill out. It ain't that
Somebody's
serious.
The
feelings
same
got
reason
hurt.
I had to be called a thought.
That's what I'm like.
Somebody's
It's like,
feelings got hurt.
why was it have to go that far? Okay, you don't like me, so what? Can we still be cool? Like, can we be friends still? Like, we chill? All right, we can be chill on another day. Bye.
Well, the good news though is that if you're in a position where you're going to have sex with that person, that means that something has already happened. There's some kind of interaction, there's some kind of relationship that has already been established. Doesn't necessarily mean it's an intimate one.
Yeah.
Okay? So some people just clearly get together just to have sex.
Very true.
Now, let's talk about that. Because I think this is what Yakira and her friend were trying to discuss with the men back so many months ago. And guys, we are on episode number 59. So
But it wasn't working. It wasn't letting me like and click and stuff.
okay.
But I was trying to comment that day.
So this is the thing. There are people, males and females, in my opinion, that can just have sex. There's no emotion tied to it. There's no, in some respects, it's not even I'm gonna see you again next
It's more
time.
like, this was cool. I was just, I was experimenting for today with the person.
It's not even experimenting. Look, this is where I was today. You happen to be in the vicinity, and I kind of know your name, so.
Hey, wanna fuck?
Yeah.
That's really what it is.
I don't know if no, you know what? I don't think I've ever asked anybody, hey, I don't even say that. I think I threatened somebody before. Like, look, you keep talking, you gonna get fucked. I don't think I've ever asked. I think I threatened, though. So, yeah.
Is that a threat or a threat?
But see, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was like, don't threaten me with a good time. Shit.
Don't threaten me with a good time. Wait, what was that on? Who was supposed to be getting beat up or something? What was that from? That was a line from something.
It might have been a movie that we had.
It might have been a military movie, and he was going to get smoked or something, and the guy's like, don't threaten me with a good time.
It might have even been King Arthur.
Wasn't it Transformers?
Oh, it was King
It
Arthur.
was probably
It
King
was
Arthur
King
because he was, we still have to let you watch it, it was awesome.
Yeah.
But this version of it, he's like,
He's a thug.
straight thug in this one. In this version of him
He's
coming up,
cold,
he's a
he's hardcore.
straight thug, cold-blooded.
Okay,
And
back to the
so,
sex.
what happened is they were like beating him up and somebody said something to him. It was one of the Vikings, because that's the other thing, Vikings weren't supposed to be there, but they were under somebody's protection or whatever, that's why they were on their land or whatever. And so, while he's talking to this draw, the dude was like saying something about killing him, because he's technically outnumbered. He was outnumbered, technically. And then he looked at him and started laughing, and he was like, don't threaten me with a good time. And it's the guy that plays Jax.
Yeah,
So
Jax
what?
is King Arthur.
Jackson what?
He's
In Sons of Anarchy.
Sons of Anarchy.
I've never watched that.
All right, so anyway, as
Back
we
to what we
were
were
saying,
talking.
It was the shit. That's all I gotta say.
the men at that time, though, felt strongly,
It was the shit.
they had strong aversion to these girls.
I guess that's because they couldn't imagine that if they have daughters, I don't know who they really were, but that their daughters would be like, yeah, I'm just having sex. I don't love you whatsoever.
I'm sorry. I had to agree with them because
Because it's true.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't think just because
If it's true for men, it's true for females. Right?
Exactly. If it's true for men, it's true for females. Like, what the heck? Y'all is
They're
tripping.
different. That's what I'm saying. I don't ever see any differences.
I
as
think
far as
there's
that
a
shit
box
goes.
we can put it in. Like, I know what it's like to have been compartmentalized before. And this guy had a Jill box. But guess what? He was also he felt a whole lot of things for me. And that's probably why he could only deal with me at certain times for so long. Because I think he was a control freak. He had to be in control of his emotions. And he had a need to be in control of me. That wasn't happening. So when he felt like he was a little out of control of me or his emotions, I go into the Jill drawer and he shuts that drawer for a while. Well, eventually I decided to not only take myself out the drawer, but I shut that drawer and locked it. So whether you think Jill's in there or not, she's not, and she's not accessible either.
Yeah, that
Because-
is old.
yeah, I'm just not accessible, period. So at that point, but what was happening is I do believe that, especially now, guys, and we've been talking the last couple of weeks about how oversaturated the industry is with sexuality. Explicit sexual material is everywhere. I think nowadays that's actually that's first base.
What?
Sex. I think sex is first
For some
base.
people, yeah, like I said, you'll recognize life when you get to campus, Akira. Because I'm telling you, life it totally was like a whoa, like it was a culture shock, and I'm a part of the culture. It was like whoa, it's so much different because it's those freshmen, especially when you're a freshman. Oh Lord Jesus, it's that first taste of true what seems to be freedom. Because your parents are never there, you don't have to answer nobody. The school does not require you to do not a damn thing. So you really are. It's all up to you. Everything is up to you. Period. And that's why some freshmen just can't handle it. I've seen freshmen literally just lose their stuff and just leave because they just cannot handle their freedom for whatever reason. But I've also seen it when it comes to sex, as far as like when I got there. It was me and my boy. I had a best friend that when I first got there, because we were in the ROTC program, we got there a week and a half earlier than everybody on the campus. So me and him made it kind of our mission, like, look, we're freshmen, we're brand new to this state, really, when it comes down to it. We were really brand new, especially him. He was from Texas, so, you know, we were brand new to the state. We were still getting to know a lot of people and things like that. And I'm like, let's just make our mission to make as many friends as we possibly can, get connects, like, just start pimping it out.
No, that's not what they said. I was there, and what his friend actually said is, I'm ready to get some girls. Let's go for the girls. That was all Devontae was
Well,
like.
yeah, that's because that's all he wanted.
Girls.
I mean, that's what he wanted. Of course, it's what he wanted. But
Let's
I was
make
like,
some connects. Let's network. Yeah.
Well, no, we
he
ain't
wanted to
saying
get
connect.
his groovy on.
no.
He wanted.
First of all, time out. We ain't saying connect. You just totally killed the word for us. Connect is not networking.
Well, connect for me.
That's what I'm saying. Stay in your lane. Hold on.
Oh.
Like, hold on. She gonna
Sex
always
versus
jump into my
intimacy
stuff.
in the 2017. No, because-
2017.
but
Connect
he
is
didn't
not
say
networking.
connect. He didn't use the word
Yeah, he
connect
did.
at all.
That's what we say for connect. We go get with somebody. We connected. We vibing. We ain't networking. Networking sounds too business. That sounds way
First
too
of all, connect in sex is using connect for sex is a little too nice.
Oh no, we're saying we're about to have sex with somebody. I'm saying we're like literally connect. Like let me hit up or hang out with this person. Let me connect.
Okay, yeah, for us it's hit up. Let me hit you up.
Well, then what I'm saying connect is absolutely correct. I'm saying
We're not
that
networking.
you're trying to meet as many people as you can. But he wasn't trying to meet as many people as he could.
Oh,
He was
trying to get
trying
with
to
that
find
many
as many
girls.
girls that he could have sex with as he could. So no, I'm in the right lane, and I'm saying exactly what I'm saying, and it absolutely is correct. He wasn't trying to connect. He was trying to fuck. Period.
Check.
As many people as he could.
Next.
And when I use that word, I'm saying that it had nothing to do with I'm gonna be cool with you after we have sex.
So why do you say network?
I didn't say network. I said
You
I was
said
making
I
a
said
joke.
network.
No, I was making a joke. But I'm like, hey, let's network.
That's what I'm saying.
Because
That's,
you used the word
that's what
connect.
I was trying to do.
But I'm saying that that's not what his.
Okay, back to the
Anyway,
sex
that's
talk.
Exactly.
This is a part of it though. That's what I'm saying though. But
Right, no,
because he wanted to do something doesn't mean that's what I was trying to do.
Well,
Anyway.
John, you guys. Here's the funny thing about this whole group, though, Jonathan and his buddy. The funny thing about it is the one who decided he wanted to have as many girls as he absolutely could possibly have.
Got
He
tied
ended
down.
up, right, he ended up getting her. He had a girlfriend first. He's the first one. He was put on lockdown. Clink, clink. And then this dude became a little man hoe.
Oh wait, but I want to go back to what John said. So I feel like it's a different because so many guys have decided that I'm just an object and decide to come up to you want to fuck and I don't even know who they are.
That's disrespectful shit.
It is disrespectful. I've gotten a standard to where I'm like, guys, you can suck my ass. So I'm just like, no, I'm not gonna do all that.
My ass.
Why
Exactly.
did you say
Eat the
that?
booty like groceries.
Motherfucker about it like for real?
I'm gonna eat the booty like groceries.
No, but it's
Motherfucker about to get
It's
into it
going-
like, oh for real? That's what
It's
you doing now?
gonna be a swerve. It's gonna be a Heisman, and I have my
A
standards.
swerve and a Heisman.
I have my standards, so it's just like when a guy approaches me, I already have an understanding of what I expect when that guy says his first word.
And as she said in the beginning, if you're Captain Hook by the penis, don't step up to her. If you are uncircumcised, you really better not step up to
That's
her.
unfortunate.
And if you have both of those, hang it up. No dice.
That's a conversation that needs to be had.
Look. I'm not saying that the guy that I was with who was uncircumcised, and he shocked me with that shit. I'm not gonna say that it would have never happened if I had known before. But I feel like
it definitely needs to be a conversation.
I don't know, guys. What do y'all think?
I want to know what that is, because what if I happened upon that, just in my college days, and I was like, oh my god, what the fuck is that? Do you know how belittling that would be for the guy? What do you mean with that?
Yeah, that has to be a conversation right there. Because me personally, if there's something that I know I don't like, I think I would draw that up in conversation.
But see, it wouldn't even be a thought that someone being uncircumcised.
No,
unless you know about it. This is what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say. It's not even just
because
like
it's for her. It's like a personal preference for her. If the guy walks up and he doesn't know that, but later on, even though they might be cool now, I'm like that. There needs to be a conversation.
Well, eventually, I would just talk about my preferences, and if he's like, oh, so what's your type? What do you like sexually?
Circumcised.
If he's like, what are your turn ons? What turns you on, or what is your sexual ideals? Well, I'd be like, well, the first thing is he has to be circumcised. If you know you're not circumcised, well, I'm not having sex
The
with you.
second thing is, what does your penis look like?
Is it curved?
Is it curved?
In any way?
Is it bumpy or lumpy at all?
Like I said, there needs to be a conversation.
Now, when I say bumpy, okay, so I know some people are very vascular, even in their arms and stuff, and I know there are veins in the penis. That is not what I mean.
You're not talking lumpy and bumpy like that.
I'm not talking about
talking
veins. I'm not talking about veins.
There's a difference.
Exactly. So please don't get me wrong when I say that.
All I'm saying is, because of the fact that in this day and age, barring the South, because I don't really know about the South, but I know on the East, the North, and the West, men are circumcised right now.
South is interesting.
The South must be and even some, I don't know. Look, I don't know. I'm 50 years old. I ran to the first one in my 40s. So,
It's interesting.
and that was a shock.
In your
I went to
40s?
Georgia.
That's when I was alive.
Yeah,
I was like, when I went to Georgia, you figure out very quickly stuff is done differently down there. People are made differently down there. It's a whole different ball game down in the South. Both Georgia, Alabama, and Texas. All the places
this
I've
person
been
was
to.
from Alabama.
Oh Lord Jesus, it was so new. I was like, wait a minute. That's how y'all roll out here like that? I had to learn life again for a second. It was a little different. I was like, oh, okay. Well, that's the norm. Oh,
Well, I'm going to California, so hopefully my men's are circumcised.
I mean, is that a really big issue? I really would like to hear from the men, because most of you guys, like Doug Rowe has so conveniently shared with us, you're circumcised. I don't know of very many men at all who are not. Now, let me ask you this. Here's the question. When your baby usually, and that's why Eddie said it's the parents' fault.
They said them up to fail.
Okay, so what? It's not setting up for failure. This is my question. Is it that the fact that once you're older, if you did not get circumcised, if your parents didn't circumcise you at birth, would you as a young adult go and have that surgery at that point? Because I think at that point it's going to be a little more painful and a lot more branded in your brain.
Yeah, traumatizing.
I think that's why. I honestly think that's why they probably don't have the surgery, because it's a different. It's easier when you're a baby. First of all, you don't remember nothing. Second of all, I mean, it probably hurts, but it don't probably hurt you the same. There's probably a whole lot more mentally to it than when you're a baby versus teenager or grown man. By the time you're a teenager, it's like,
well, I feel like the amount of nerves are different. I feel like the nerves change, because puberty happens when you're older. So like a baby can't get hard.
Yes, they can.
Can they?
Yeah,
Can
but it's
they?
a different kind. It's
Yeah,
just
it's
blood.
different.
It's just blood going down there.
That's all
They're
it
not.
is.
It's not a sexual response or anything. It's not.
Oh, I didn't know they could even get hard. See what I know.
Shoot, when one of them
That's
sit
what I'm
there
saying, that's what I'm
and
saying,
their
it's
little
just
wee wee sticks straight up and they pee in your face, you'll know. That's
That's what
because you
I'm saying.
never
Oh,
had
this
a
is blood.
boy.
It's the same thing as like when you have to go to the bathroom for guys.
Right, they
That's
pee right in
yeah.
your face. It'll stand right up and go.
All it is blood. That's all. Females have the same thing. It's just yours is because inside it works different.
Dr. Jackson.
But
So-
the nerves actually activate a whole lot more for females when their blood gets there because everything's inside.
Yes, Sierra, absolutely.
What did
Sierra
she say?
said, well, damn, I'm going to have to get Bentley circumcised. You better get that baby circumcised. Do not set him up for failure. I think they charge $100. If we got to come up with $100, we'll do it. Because they don't do it now. You have to like pay for circumcisions now, I
They
think.
used to just do it.
And
but
it
they
used to be
asked
just part of, the process.
you.
But
Like, you want
I
it?
think
Okay,
I think you have to
whatever.
pay for it now. So yes, get Bentley, get little Bent
So they
circumcised.
figured out how to monetize that. That's interesting.
So Dr. Jackson is asking how we're doing. Well, I was doing okay, Miss Stephanie Jackson,
Oh,
a friend of mine from Ohio State. She's now in the ATL. She is magnanimous and she is becoming a chiropractor. So we call her Dr. Jackson. Anyway, so she was asking how we were doing. So Stephanie, let me just tell you,
Great.
I was doing okay when I had the concept of starting this
Until
conversation.
she got here.
But
She recognized.
between the millennial, the iGen Centennial, and the participants on the stream, I think I'm gonna need a drink when I get done. I don't know. They done just took me all the way out my element. I'm like, wow.
I was gonna say, yeah, you don't want to start this conversation if you ain't ready, people. Don't do it to yourself.
Carrie, it is necessary.
Well,
Carrie said that's expensive for a procedure that isn't necessary.
Oh,
It's a cosmetic surgery. Cheapest I found, $1,500.
kill yourself. I don't know.
I have never heard of it being that expensive.
Somebody got them.
Yeah, she's right. That is expensive for one, but it's necessary. I have never heard of.
well, I don't think it's necessary. I just know for my preference, I don't want to see it. So
is that what's happening right now? They're going backwards on the babies, on the baby boys. Like they're not
They might
circumcising
be.
them
That's
now.
why they
because
make
it's not a
monetize.
medical need. Like they're not saying if you don't circumcise them, their penis is gonna fall off.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, it is a social need, and so.
Well,
I would
eventually,
say
if no
amongst
one's getting
guys.
circumcised.
I was gonna say, amongst guys, it's not really a thing. It's more female to male kind of situation.
But Eddie said he would be depressed if he was uncircumcised.
It's also his time.
So, well, he's not as old as I am.
But he's a lot older than me.
Maybe. How old are you, Eddie? My son thinks you're a lot older than him. I don't think you're a lot older.
Emphasis
than him.
is like it's like this huge number. I just said older.
You said
No,
he's
you
a lot
said a
older
lot.
than
A
me.
lot older, but I didn't emphasize it like he was like 50.
He's not. I just said he wasn't my age.
Don't emphasize.
How old are you, Eddie? We
Like
want to
a
know.
nigga
I think he's
60
like
years old.
30 something.
I was like, he's a lot older. Because I'm 24. I'm nowhere near old.
You're
A lot of people.
24.
Exactly. A lot of people still see me as a child for whatever reason.
He's 38. I was right. Woo! Told you he's 30 something. Okay. I was going to say 35. Yeah, so 38.
14 years.
So he's older than you, but not that much.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't speak.
But do you think guys right now would not have an issue being uncircumcised?
Guys,
Like
as
in
far
your-
as
in your
my
age.
age group,
Yeah.
no. Because it's
If
not something we
circumcision
really
didn't
think about.
exist, of course it wouldn't matter. If there was a bunch of guys who were uncircumcised, it wouldn't be a thought, is
It
what I'm
wasn't-
saying.
Yeah, in my age group, everybody, like you said, it was just kind of already done. Like it was part of the process for our age group.
Yeah.
So it's not like everybody really has that for my age group. That's why it's not really like an issue. Now, have we seen it? Of course. We've seen it both young, old, it didn't really matter. But we're also guys, so it's like, I guess maybe for maybe a male gay community, it might be a little bit something of a different conversation. Because now it's a certain preference.
So they got a lot of penises.
Well, that's what I'm saying, it's a different type of preference for
You got
them.
to go through some
So,
penises
you know,
here.
if you ask maybe, somebody in the gay community, something like that.
You
might
know
be-
what? Once I turn 18, this is what we should do on my birthday. I just thought about this. We should do real day, whatever
The real world.
real world, and we should go to a sex store and see the different type of dildos they have for my 18th birthday.
This
Funny
girl
enough-
got some strange issues.
Funny
She wants her
enough-
nipples pierced.
That's the
wants
funniest
her-
part, though. Funny enough, I did that, and I was trying to have, like, there was actually, I think, 3 different types of girlfriends that I've had. All of them different, very drastically different. But all of them were, they were interested in going to the sex store. And I was totally down. I'm like, let's go. And I think out of the 3, 2 of them went. But, I've always wondered, like, I mean, I understand why a guy might want to go in there, but it's like females be going in there. I'm like, oh.
Well, because
why not the
because
female
actually
one?
there's more toys in there for
For them,
females
yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
than there
I'm
are
like,
for males.
but no,
It's
like,
designed to
it's
help y'all out.
Well, that's what I'm
Trust
saying,
me.
though. But it's like, it's interesting when they want you to go with them and you're not necessarily like their boyfriend or anything like that.
Oh, that is a...
That's interesting. Yeah. Because like I said, my friends on campus, I had some friends, man, and they were just different. I'm like,
I would
real?
rather go with my boyfriend than
That's
just
what
a
I'm
friend.
saying. I was like the one
Because
they were
then my boyfriend knows
girlfriends,
what
yeah,
I'm, you know, like what I'm
Like
using.
the 2 that I went with were girlfriends, but I also had some friends that walked up to me and was like, well, I heard you went with her, so can you go with me? I'm like, see, now I can't do that because I see you like you my sister. I can't do that. Like,
Yeah.
time out.
That's-
Pause.
Boundaries.
I love you, but I can't do that with you.
We jumping bounds.
I don't mind going there, you know, because it's not uncomfortable. But it's like I think it's that moment where, especially like DJ. DJ is different though. I could probably go with her because we're just close like that. But like some people, even though like who am I thinking of? Jack. So you know,
Yes.
I wouldn't be able to do that
So
because me and her are like friends. I'm like, sorry.
let me say this to Sierra real quick. Yes, Sierra, that was the price that I was understanding.
What?
That it's closer to like $100. She said $164. She said if you do it within the first 30 days,
That makes sense.
it's
That's what I was gonna say.
$164. But if you do it after that,
That's what
That's what I was
Yeah.
gonna say.
And that's probably why they don't
okay,
do
wait.
it later.
Back to my nipples getting pierced. Sierra, you are closer to my age because for some reason my mom can't understand that nipple piercing is actually an okay thing to do. It's
ouch.
No,
Ouch.
I'm sorry.
And
I've seen more females in my generation and her generation that have that.
Ouch.
And I've seen
Ouch.
exactly like it's a thing now.
And it's not even like singles. Most of them are doubles, and then some of them
Yeah.
have the thing where they have the
Ouch.
piercings down the whole middle, like the sternum piercing.
Ouch.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about because Black China has that. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
But
the
I just want to get my
sternum
nipples
piercings,
pierced.
shit, whatever the fuck it is. They got that. I was like, damn.
Ouch.
Like seriously, okay, get past the pain.
I'm not.
Get past the pain.
Look. I am into pleasure. I am not into pain.
But it is a pleasure. What are you talking about?
No.
What are you talking about?
I
Did
have
you
no
know?
time.
Hold
It's
on.
pleasure, damn it.
Hold on.
I
Hold
have enough
Wait.
pleasure without
Wait.
my nipples being pierced.
Wait.
So anybody who wanted that, no. Super J's nipples are not
Pause.
pierced.
First of all,
And never will be.
okay, I'm not telling you to get your
I know, I'm
nipples
just saying,
pierced,
just in
but
case somebody wants to know.
it actually makes your nipples more sensitive
Ouch!
in
Mine
a
don't need to be more-
pleasurable
Mine
way.
don't need to be more sensitive. Trust.
What does Sierra say? Is Sierra on my side?
A lot of people have them, but it's not my thing. Piercing nipples and
And what?
Yep.
clits.
I'm not doing all that.
Y'all are just, that's too much. That is too much.
They do
Piercing
that.
nipples
Like I
and
said, it's more
clits,
frequent
not my
nowadays.
thing.
It's way
But I
more
wouldn't do
frequent
the
nowadays.
clit thing, but like,
I wouldn't do none of them. This one.
Hey, if anybody knows how many tattoos I got, y'all know pain is pleasurable sometimes.
and
No,
they tell me like the initial piercing isn't what hurts. It's like the after effect
It is.
where like it starts
Like the initial
radiating.
tattoo don't hurt. It's usually the after effect.
Exactly. So it's just like, come on now.
All the tattoos I got, shoot, ain't near one of them hurt.
I think Jonathan is
I like pain.
addicted to the pain of like tattoos and stuff, but you don't have a Prince Albert. I don't know that you would think that that was cool.
What's a Prince Albert?
Like piercing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Got you.
Sierra says she has her tongue and nose
I don't-
and belly and still take tongue ring out during oral sex. I'm assuming that's what that says. It says during oral.
For me, piercing is always it's kind of hard for many to
All
get
right,
piercings,
then.
depending on what kind of piercings, especially that gauges came out now, so that's like a big factor.
Yeah,
for me.
I had
like that's
gauges for a
the
while.
more manly jewelry now. Like, 'cause back in the day, if you remember, like if a guy wore hoops, it was a no-go. Like he's like, you did not do that as a man.
So, John,
so
Eddie said that if a girl asks you to go to the sex store and she's not your woman, she plans on fucking you.
yes, she does, and that's why I have sometimes an issue because I've had people that I've seen as friends for like long time friends, and it's never been like brought up ever. It's never been a conversation, even though we've had conversations about it. No, we've had conversations about it, but it's never been a conversation as in us.
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
Oh, what are you talking about?
I'm talking about it's not true that if a female is friends with a guy and she's like, hey, you want to go to the sex store? Like, honestly, you can go to the sex store just to make fun of the sex store. Like,
you can't. There are some people
because honestly, my friends, I've gone to Spencer's, and this Spencer's is like,
Spencer's ain't no damn sex
it's not a
store.
sex store, but they got dildos and vibrators
Yeah, but it
all
ain't,
in the
it ain't
back,
a sex store.
and they got fake little titties and fake
It
pussies.
ain't a sex store though. Trust me.
I know it's not. I understand that it's not a sex
definitely
store.
not a sex
I get that, but I'm just saying, you know, like we go in there and it's just like, oh, they have little dildos all over here and flink, flunk, flunk.
Flank,
Trust me.
flunk, flunk.
It actually looks funny until you go into the section and you see an old contraption. You like, what is that?
So,
The Vector 3000.
the
Some
Vector
shit.
3000.
I was like, oh, what does that do?
John brought up zombies.
Look, all I'm saying is, I've gone to a sex store with a guy before that I was not looking to have relations with.
Exactly.
So.
See, I've had to have the conversation because, unfortunately for me, that actually has been the case where every single time that person would ask, I'm like, okay, so I feel like you're asking now for a specific reason, and at this point now I'm uncomfortable because, like I said, we had these conversations.
Now I'm uncomfortable.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like we had these conversations, and nothing was ever said about going that far as our boundaries. So now that we're here, it's like I don't even really see you that way, and so now you're just kind of like forcing it upon me. I'm like, I don't like that. You can
That's
stop.
kind of embarrassing, see, rejection. All right, so at the end of the day, this is how I feel about it. I do agree that sex in 2017 is just very, very different than my concept. There was definitely intimacy that ranked very, very high on my scale, okay? I have to feel like I know a person if I'm going to be engaging in certain relationships. Now, on the other hand, if I was to go, for example, to said, what are the swingers bars or someplace like that, that environment is different than having a relationship with someone. I think in those instances, the design of you even being there is specifically for the purpose of potentially having some kind of physical or sexual contact with another person, and those people you may or may not know. So I think really it depends on where you are, what frame of reference you're coming from, and what kind of expectations you have personally. But for me, in my mentality and my thought process, I have to go to a place like that.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not expecting a guy just to walk up to me and we're ready to hop in the bed.
Yeah.
I don't.
You know, I really don't even understand how you find places like that though, because like we were watching a show called, of course you do, John. We were watching a show called Lucifer, and they were talking about.
Sierra, you can call in. Call John's phone.
Yeah, because my phone's dead. But anyway,
You can call.
we were watching a show called Lucifer, and they were dealing with a case where they had to go to a sex party. And so I'm just like, how do you even,
How do you
guys set up sex?
What?
They had to go to a sex party, basically. Like, that's what it was.
But that's the thing.
But I'm just like, how do you
But
set
no,
that
but that's because that's a culture, and the people who are going to participate in that's their lifestyle.
Exactly. So I understand. Okay, so I understand you'd have to network, but my thing is
It's a
how
business.
yes, it's a business, but like, I can never imagine having a business partner and then all of a sudden being like, yeah, so you want to go to the sex party? Like, I just don't understand that mentality. I have a really...
What, of going to a sex party?
No, of setting a sex party up in the first place. Because you have to, like, these sex parties were looking like... It's
Are
like
you
a bunch of
talking
rich
Are you
people,
talking
like-
about the parties where they're selling intimate objects?
No,
Or you're talking about
like,
a party
they're
where
basically...
going to have sex?
Yeah, like,
It's a
basically
swingers party.
orgies.
It's a swingers party.
It's literally like being poly. It's a community.
No, I get that, but I'm
But
just
that's
like...
how you
That's,
do it.
that's how,
That's how they.
it's
that-
very open.
But I'm saying, how do you... Okay, so...
You're not going to be the one who does that.
No, I
Because that's
know,
not
but...
your lifestyle.
I get that, but I'm saying, how do these people... Just... Okay, so... Is it
How
just
do you
like...
hook up with a guy?
I talked to them for a while, I
And
guess.
how do you decide that's what you're going to do?
They gotta be good looking. I don't know.
Okay, so for you, they have to be good looking.
Yeah.
But the point is, it's someone
Same
that
thing.
you're engaging, and you're like, okay, I could have sex with this person.
Yeah.
The same way that that's your process. You want to meet this person. He's got all these stipulations that he got, hoops he got to jump through.
No, I'm saying I get that point, but I'm saying okay. There was this. I don't know what show I was watching, but these swingers were trying to pull on this guy because they thought he was gay, and then they find out he's not gay. So then they're just sitting there awkwardly, and that's my thing. How do you find out? Like, okay,
Well, that's
I can
questions just like
actually.
anybody else.
Well, you mean at the sex party? How do you find out?
Yeah, like, no, not at the sex party, but this is a different scenario.
Oh, okay.
Discard the sex party. They met this guy at a party. This couple met this guy at a party. They bring him into their room. They're trying to hang out. They're all smoking and whatever. And then they, like, start making out, and the girl's trying to hang up on the guy, and then, you know, like, the guy's like, the other guy who was actually with the girl is like, oh, would you want to do something? And the guy's like, I'm not gay. So it's just like, how would you, like, there's cues that I'm saying, you know, like, how would you go into, okay, like, this person is a swinger, therefore I'm willing to, like,
A
pursue
swinger,
them.
you're going to know that a swinger is a
Oh, yeah,
swinger
they're very
eventually.
pronounced.
Eventually, they're going to let you know. Carrie said sex parties often work just like raves.
Yeah.
They're invite only, location always changes, etc. But the other thing is, it is a culture. It is a lifestyle. There are people who are in that lifestyle.
Yeah, so you have to know people.
The
to get
invite
into it.
only has to do with the fact that you're involved with someone who's in the life.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever seen a meetup? Like the meetups thing?
No.
The app? Okay, so there's this app that's actually Meetup, which actually I think it used to be my yearbook, and they turned it over, so now it's called Meetup, where people literally, like communities, can create a page where people in different states, cities, whatever, can go to a specific location to meet up for, let's say, art and literature,
Okay.
or things like that.
Mm.
They post up the same thing. They have a gay community where they have lesbians only, where only lesbians can pop up for this particular meetup, and they get sent emails so that they reminds them, hey, there's this event going on here for your, demographic.
Mm.
You might want to go show up or something like that. Swingers have the same exact thing, and those are the more outspoken ones where there's like just out there. But 9 times out of 10, it's the same
That's
conversation
what it
as anybody. It's the same conversation. It's just the community. It's who you are as a person.
Yeah.
It's what you enjoy. And usually, most of them. Sometimes I've seen more of them in couples than I have in singles, where they're a single swinger. I usually see couple swingers more than I see single swingers.
Yeah.
So-
same thing with polyamory. Polyamorous people, I'll see a threefold, where you have a husband and wife and then the girlfriend. They all know all that stuff. That's just how they live together. They probably live in the same house. They go to a party together, and they actually expect another couple, 2 or 3, to be there just as badly as they are.
I know about the, there was just recently like a nude poly polygamous march or something, and it was like, my girlfriend has a girlfriend.
It
And,
wasn't polygamous, it was polyamorous. There's a difference.
well, it was,
Polygamists they marry more than one individual.
I don't know what the march was, but it was something, a nude march thing going on, and like,
Yeah, I remember that.
they're talking about, being with each other, and monogamy is not natural, and all this other stuff, and I was just like, everybody, drinks from a different cup, I guess.
Well, you know what? Honestly, I'm not so sure
Monogamy is
that
okay.
monogamy is necessarily
Okay.
natural. You know, in other words,
That's why people, like, we have high divorce rates. That's why people don't always necessarily stick together. That's why some people just don't click sometimes.
No, I get that.
not even just monogamy. I don't believe that there's one mate for each person. I don't believe that there's one man for me and only one man for me.
Soulmates?
I don't believe that. I do believe that there can be soulmates, but I don't believe that just because I am with this man that I cannot somehow or whatever, I can develop feelings for this man and be perfectly justified and within my rights. Now, what's going to happen is what kind of relationship and what are the rules? Okay, so if there are rules in the relationship that your understanding over here is that you guys are monogamous, you're intimate, and you are exclusive, that's a whole different can of worms than someone saying, well, I'm polyamorous. And again, I already said that I'm polyamorous, but I'm using it in a more evolved and a more expanded definition of it. It really doesn't have anything to do with sex as far as my polyamorousness. However, I don't have a problem with engaging more than one individual. Let's put it that way. Being in relationship with more than one person at a time. I have no problem with that. As long as everybody is clear and is playing by the rules.
And that
there
also
are rules.
comes into the point where the sex versus enemy. Sometimes there are certain polygamous couples where polyamorous couples, excuse me, that literally one of them, that's all they want. They're just there for the sex. They're not necessarily there for anything else. Like, they don't need anything financially. You know, they're perfectly fine on their own. It's just that's what they're into, and they don't mind being the girlfriend or the boyfriend or the third. You know, they don't mind that. So it's just another reason why I see that more now though than I think I did when I was little. But it's just what it is.
I'm not going to be the third, daggone it. If I'm involved, I'm going to get the benefits of being the first.
Now, I feel like that is something that the females in my generation don't necessarily understand.
What?
Not at all.
Like, whatsoever. Like, they cannot see, like,
Well,
if
my
I'm with a
generation,
guy,
my
like, they see, like, if they're with a guy, that guy,
It's there.
even if they look at another girl, like, they're cheating, and I'm like, what the f?
Yeah, but her generation is like,
They-
I own you. I'm like,
Exactly.
no,
It's really weird how the females in my generation act, because, like, I'll use an example. And it's really
I
funny.
think that's insecurity and jealousy.
Well, definitely. I think
ownership.
there's
Though.
that.
What
But
is the sense of ownership? Where did that come from?
I don't know. But I'll use an example. So
Like, I'm a person.
This-
You don't own me. That's slavery.
I think what really is happening though is the girls in my generation try to hang with older guys, and the older guys play them. So now they're like, and they hung out with other girls, and so they were hurt because they're thinking, you know, you're only talking to me.
But the older guy did not play them. They played themselves.
They did play themselves.
They played themselves.
No, they did, and so I 100% agree with that. You know, but it's just like the girls in my generation really had no business doing what they're doing. First of all, but it's like why are you talking to these older guys? But and it's just like I get it. You're experimenting. You're doing what you think you can do. But it's just like when you get to the point where you're putting emotions into it, and you're like, oh, he's only talking to me. I promise you, he's not. I promise you, he's not. And second of all, it's just like now you have something with somebody where they're probably not talking to anybody, but because you had that experience, you've already messed yourself up. Yeah, you can't trust them. So anything they do, you're on their ass. And it's like, yo, chill before you lose me because you're annoying me now. And it's like, yo, I am so sorry for y'all because I am perfectly fine with my man looking at another female because I know I'm fine. If they decide to leave, that's their problem. They missed out.
Well, I don't believe that on the male side, I do believe on the female side this can happen. I don't believe that a female can steal my man away. I really don't believe that. If my man walks away, he wasn't my man. Okay? And so that's okay. I would rather you get to step in and tippy-toe your ass on out of here.
Exactly.
If we're in a monogamous relationship, and that's the understanding that we are exclusive, that
Another
means
thing
that
is
that
the other
wasn't what you
generation-
really wanted to be.
Another thing is the other females in my generation, they didn't have my mom, so
What do you mean?
like just what my
Yeah,
mom
they're
just
right.
said, like if he decided to leave, he can go ahead and tippy toes.
Yeah, 'cause that's not the-
Like I don't think any other
So-
female in my generation had their moms.
Never. 'Cause you can tell by the ownership. Like it's almost like the entitlement out here. It's the same thing with the ownership for a lot of her generation. It's like,
Well,
there's
okay, there's
grow up with
jealousy, there's sense of entitlement. There's a lot of different things that can play into that. I'm not saying that I've never been in a relationship and my feelings were hurt because the guy that I was with did not want to be exclusive with me, and that's what I
no,
wanted.
that's not what we're
to
saying.
do.
We're saying that literally, like, there's girls that if I'm walking down the street, I happen to look at my phone, I look up, and there's a girl to my left, they will flip, and I'm like,
They really will.
yo, you need to check. I was in my phone 5 seconds ago. I looked up so I could see where I was going. I happened to look left. There's a girl there. Is that a problem? Like, how is that in my
I'm sorry,
control?
those are cray-cray individuals, and you don't need to be in a relationship with them.
I've never.
anyway.
I just seen
And
it.
that's whether male or female. We got
Yeah, it's
ketchup
both.
in
Yeah.
the house.
It's both ways. Both
You
males
know?
and females can do it. I've seen it. And I'm like, yo, what is up? I think I asked you once. I'm like, what is up with it? Because I've seen. I think it was a couple that when I went to pick you up one time, they were sitting there fighting, and I'm like, what are they fighting over? He was like, oh, he looked at some girl. I was like, so?
It really does
Come on, high
happen.
school
Here's the
campus
thing.
with a
Here's
bunch of
what's
girls.
funny about that, though. For me, and this, I honestly feel this way, and y'all can talk about me and say that I'm conceited all you want. But here's how I feel about it. If I am with a guy, and I'm talking Super J, I'm not talking Jill. Well, Jill probably would too. But definitely Super J, all right? This is how I feel. My guy is looking at that female. Why am I going to get mad? Because I can pull him and her. I guarantee you Super J pulls whoever she wants. She just don't happen to want her. So, I'm saying, I mean,
it's a mentality. That's
so
like-
it doesn't, you know, it's like, I don't care. And that's the same thing I feel like with whoever these females are. If
They don't have
only-
confidence like we do.
Right, I would say if they only knew the power that they had within
They would
themselves,
understand.
and they had the confidence and exuded that in how they engage and operated with folk, it would be totally different.
You can see the
And
difference.
you know, it's funny because a lot of my friends come up to me and they're like, I don't understand how you're so confident. You know, you're just so beautiful and you just love yourself. And I'm like, it really isn't hard. Like, I don't know. And my thing is, a lot of my friends are good looking. Like, I don't.
That's what
I'm like, I
saying.
don't
Sometimes it
get
takes
how
time.
y'all are not
It
understand.
does.
Like, how you can look at yourself in the mirror and be like, no, I don't look good today. Like, I'm just like, yes, I get it. You have bad days because I have them too. I'm like, yo, no makeup. We're not doing this. I'm gonna just look like death today because it's not working. But I'm gonna still be like, I'm freaking gorgeous and I have the baddest body out here. Thank you very much.
Well,
So
but
it's
then
just
you're
like,
in your high school and you do have a bad
exactly. It's just what happens. It's whatever. But but you know, my friends are always like, "Oh my God, you're just so confident," and I'm like, because when you're
Yeah,
bullied
man.
from kindergarten until freaking sophomore year, basically, you kind of have to get to the point where you tell yourself you're gorgeous. If no one else is gonna tell you you're gorgeous, you have to tell yourself. And then like, I become like the most wise person that they know. And they're like, wow, I never thought about it that way. It actually is really simple. And I'm like, yeah. Like, it isn't that hard. Just love yourself, accept yourself, because you really can't change yourself unless you get millions of dollars like the Kardashians, and then you can just do whatever you want. Make yourself look like Ken and Barbie all you want. But because you don't, just accept who you are. Like, there's no point in saying, no, that's not good enough.
But that
to be
also comes from
standard.
the parents. Let me explain one thing right there. The parents of these young people send them messages. The number one Sweet 16 gift for upper echelon teenage girls, freaking breast
Yep, I would
implants.
say boobs.
Breast implants. Think about that.
I didn't know that, but
Oh, yeah,
Think about
that's
that.
just flourishing.
That's sad.
Think about that. The number one gift that a daddy and a mommy is going to give their 16-year-old daughter are breast implants. Are you freaking stupid?
yeah, that is dumb.
Are you freaking crazy? You just told your 16-year-old, not only are you not good enough now, but you never will be. We gonna help you. We're
Yeah,
gonna
and
help
a lot
you.
of my friends also said that their parents tell them that they're not going to amount to anything. And so I'm like, what the fuck?
It's a two-way
But
street.
they're also, hold on,
It's
this is, and I might offend some of y'all, and I don't think most of the parents on here have ever said this to their children. I'm hoping not. But a lot of my friends are white because I live in a white neighborhood for the most part. But the white parents are the ones who are saying, you're not good enough, you're gonna fail. You're gonna fail out of high school.
All parents do. That's not ethnicity based.
Well, that
now there are some ethnicities who won't go that way.
yeah, I say all the black friends that I do have, none of their parents have they have never told me that their parents have ever said anything like that.
Well, some of them have. They just didn't tell you.
Or that's the case, you know. Or that's the case. But the white ones have specifically told me. My mom always tells me that I'm gonna be a trailer crack whore, and I'm like, what the.
Yeah, it's a little more prevalent.
Yeah, like they make it known, and it's like everyday stuff, and I'm like, that's abusive, that's neglectful.
That's exactly. It's not because they are white or black.
No,
it's because they are assholes or not.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
what I'm
It has nothing to do with your ethnicity. It has to do with, are you a freaking,
asshole. Yeah.
It just so happens that out here, white people are a little bit more prevalent. That's why it seems that way.
Yeah, the other thing is,
but
the other piece to that is, out here specifically, especially in the neighborhood we're in, they're trying to control the direction that their children go as far as who they interact with. And if you're associated with this person, yeah, you're going to end up being a crack hoe or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's because they want you to manipulate and work your way over to this person. So they're trying to control that. I don't even know that they actually even believe, half the stuff that they're saying, but they're just obnoxious, ignorant assholes.
Yeah.
And they're being terrible to their children. Now, when Jonathan and Yakira were young, every day, sometimes many, multiple times a day, I'm telling them, you are the deal. You're the deal. And for Yakira, her godfather Norm, who's actually in her mind her father, that's her dad, but he used to be like, who's the woman, Yakira? And then she'd do something, she's a baby, she'd get happy. He's like, say it like you mean it,
Yeah, he even made a Build-A-Bear that says it.
Who's the woman, Yakira? Say it like you mean it. And so, they were lucky and they were blessed enough, as well as myself. My parents imparted to me. They tried to bring us up, build us up. They weren't ever really trying to tear us down. Now, because they were they had a religious foundation, they tried to deter and they put controls on some stuff, but they never told us that we were never going to amount to anything, that we were less than, or nobody ever did that in my sphere, in my inner circle. In fact, I don't even know if anybody did that in my outer circle. They was too busy calling me slut and all this other stuff to say that I wouldn't amount to anything because I had already arrived. I guess
But
so.
see, I think that's where
You're not going
comes
as far as
from,
you're
too,
going to go.
As far as relationships go and stuff like that, that also kind of goes into the point where, I guess for some people, sex versus intimacy, it's like, who are you as a person, in a sense? Because for me, I think that's why I'm a little bit different, is who I am as a person, who I have kind of interacted with, who I allow myself to interact with, how I was brought up, things like that. All that put into one is, creating in that moment, okay, well, why does this, differ for this person than this other person? Why can't it be this and why can't it be that? It's all really about the person, because, some people can be like, oh, well, I'm hurt for whatever reason, and then they would, both men or female, will make a, like they'll try to bash them sexually or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. Like, I remember one person,
sexually.
like, some...
Like gender-wise or what?
No, like, I remember one girl, I started laughing. I wasn't supposed to laugh. I was being mean. But, she was arguing with her boyfriend that happens to be my friend. And, we're walking away because I'm at the point where, like, I'm not even trying to be in a situation, but they're causing a scene by her yelling at him, like, in the middle of the store. So I'm like, yo, can we just roll, bro? Like, let's just go, bro. Like, that's all I'm trying to do, because I'm just trying to go. And he said something to her that just, like, pissed her off so badly. So she was like, well, that's why your dick's little. And I was like, I just started like I couldn't help it. I just started laughing. So then she got mad at me, and I was like, "Time out, time
You're the one that
out."
said it.
That's what I'm like. You're the one that
Trying
said
to
it.
demean him.
And what was funny was his reaction. His reaction was funny as hell. He was like, "Really?" It wasn't. I was like, "My nigga," because it shouldn't be a thing. Like if you gonna go to that level, that means you have nothing else to say, and it just shows how intelligent you are as far as what you can come up with as an insult. I'm like, all right, man.
If I'm going to insult somebody, I'm going for your life. I'm not going for physical.
Like that's like really
because
come on now.
They're going to crush your shit.
No, because I've already gotten, like, honestly, I've gotten insulted on my appearance so much in my life. Like, it's just like, really? Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like,
at a point, you just is like, for real?
Like
that's all you got?
honestly.
Like, I've heard that before.
This
is not nothing new.
Yeah, it's like, if you just look at me, just look at me, okay. Your nose is big. Oh, yeah, it is. Wow. I never noticed that. I can see it. You know that, right?
And your personality is ugly.
Exactly. So, yeah.
Like,
well, damn. I'm not going there, but
I will,
you know,
I
so
will
it's
hurt
like-
you. I'm sorry. My
But
words
the
will
thing
slice
is,
you up.
what's funny to me though is if I'm in a relationship with someone and it gets to that, I would never go there. I would never intentionally try to hurt you on that level.
No.
Especially if I know you're insecure about it, because that's
That's why she did that.
Yeah, that's what she tried. She was
That's
trying
why
to
she
do that
tried
because she
that.
thought he was insecure about it. The funny part is,
But that's
when
my
you're
thing. Like
confident,
that's
you know what you got. You like,
But it's like that's messed up to do, and that's like that means you have issues.
That's what I
Like,
said. Actually,
I
it's
just
her
want to say
insecurity.
one thing to Eddie Bailey. Eddie Bailey, I'm going to just tell you this. You done wrote about your donkey so much in this stream, you better not ever hope a female comes to me and tells me anything different.
That's true.
That's the one thing I will say though. If that person, the one that
If
like,
they do boast, you can crush them.
Yeah.
If they
Because nine times
say that
they
you're
boast-
wrong, if they say that you lied, you have permission to send your pic wherever you want to send it.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, someone who he kept talking about everybody. And by the way, everybody does not like to see a donkey. Not in a picture, anyway.
Like me personally,
Keep it
I think
virtually
that's
to
kind of-
yourself.
Yeah, I was like, I've learned at least. I don't know about your generation so much, but mine at least. The guys are the same way, but it depends. It depends on where they've come from, how they were brought up, and a lot of different things. I feel like guys, her
What are you
generation
talking
are
about?
just like that now.
What are you talking about?
As far as the whole dick pic thing, because
No, these are old guys who be sending
mean,
me dick
I've
pics.
seen it
I'm
too.
like,
Well, that's
don't nobody
like-
want to look at your wrinkled old nasty.
that's because you look different.
No, I'm kidding.
That's
No, they're young people.
That's
who
what
are
I'm
sending
saying.
it
That's
to
what I'm
me.
like.
They're 20. Okay,
Even
so
illier.
They're trying
25. Listen, 25 or 28 to about 38, 40.
But that's what I'm saying. They're trying to appeal to you because they think that's what you.
They
would
think
like.
I really want to see that. It's like,
Do you
want
want to see it? This is my question.
I really think the
Do
guys
y'all
want
want
to
to see it? Like, really? Do you want to see it?
They're very proud of it. I don't know why, but yeah.
Me personally, I'm like, look, I like.
We're not
if
even
if I deem sending a dick pic gay, well, y'all stop sending it. For all you straight men out there, if I deem sending a dick pic gay, will y'all stop sending
Well,
it?
technically, it's
I'm
not
about to put it all over my Snapchat. Sending dick pics is gay.
Don't say that. Because that's an
Because
insult
now
to
it's
gay
gay
people.
Well,
That's what I'm saying. You can't.
Dude, homosexual.
Because a straight guy wouldn't find that as an insult. A gay person would.
Right.
well, no, if they are insecure about
But you're
themselves,
saying
yes, they
gay
would.
as in like that's a bad thing for that.
Well,
That's
I don't
what
want
not-
y'all to send it, so stop
So
sending it.
don't.
That's what
but
I'm saying, you can't
the
say
way,
gay.
even that whole comment suggests that you have a
A problem with
Gay.
gay. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. I know what you're
That's
saying.
what
I'm
I'm
not
saying.
trying to
Or
It's
that
straight.
not even that you have a problem with them, but that you believe that that's a bad thing to be.
No, I'm
But
saying
then by
straight
saying
people
that-
don't want. I'm saying that. Okay,
But by
never mind.
you saying that, it means that you have a problem. And some straight
It's not
people-
saying that I have a problem. I'm saying that heterosexual men have a problem with being seen as gay. They have a tendency when as soon as you say that's gay, they get all squeamish and stop doing what they're doing. That's why I said that. Please let me clarify.
I know what you meant. I was just
Exactly. I'm like, I know what
But
I'm
I'm
saying.
just saying how it would come up across.
I know how it
It's
comes
not
across.
the sex that you would want.
I know how it would come across. I understand what you guys are saying to homosexual people. I get what
That's
you guys
all
are
right.
saying.
I was saying
But-
clarify yourself real quick. That's all I was saying.
I'm just saying, like, stop sending sending
I
them.
knew what you were
They're
trying to say.
disgusting. It's really barbaric and gross. So I'm saying, for the straight men, if y'all don't want to be called that, that's what I'm gonna call y'all if y'all keep sending them to me. Because it's like you have to look at it
Who's
first.
sending you dick pics? You
A
can't.
bunch of teen boys who think it's cute. My thing is you have
That,
to.
oh, you know what? We'll have to talk about that.
My
later
thing
on.
is my thing is you have to look at it before you send it, don't you? So that means you're staring at a dick. Like,
Yours, so it's not like. At the end of the day, that
Here's
is
my thing
nothing
about
in
it.
their head that's
See,
kicking.
Yakira has just recently gotten into this. The photos that she does, some of the selfies, they are definitely very pretty, very beautiful and artistic photos, but many of them are much more provocative and very revealing. You're sending those out everywhere. People think that you are trying to get their attention and attract them,
I
and
like
that's
this
going to
one.
be the assumption that she wants sex. So I'm going to show her my package. Like, let's get together.
I would understand. Hold on. I would understand.
See, well, then I'm sure
No, I would understand you guys sending me dick pics if I was showing my naked body on Instagram and Snapchat and stuff like that. That is not what I'm doing.
Almost.
Almost, but it's not what I'm doing.
Almost.
But it's
that's
not
the
what
thing,
I'm
you
doing,
gotta
is my
understand
point.
The perception of the other person. If they're like, oh, well, if she's willing to reveal that, well, then if I do this, could you reveal more?
So then that's like saying, so then if I'm walking around in a bathing suit, you're allowed to show me your penis.
No, I'm just
That's
saying.
what you guys are saying.
No, we're not saying that. What we're saying is with the type of campaign you have recently launched, this is the response.
Mom, what I'm saying though is my body is very boisterous. It's very big.
I agree,
juice.
and that's why I'm
So
trying
what
to
I'm
help you.
saying is, if I posted a picture of myself in a bikini, it would still be the same thing as what I'm posting. Therefore, people could still send me dick pics. But it's a swimwear.
The difference
It's a
is
perception.
there is a difference in you
Well,
going
that's
to
your
the
problem.
pool and being in your swimsuit and you being on the treadmill all.
That's not what I'm doing though. So
She's not. I'm just kidding.
There's a
Like
difference between
having
you
your
just
boobs
hanging
all
out
out
and actually being
know,
there
doing all
to
of
enjoy
this and-
yourself.
duck flipping it and stuff all down.
my boobs are just big. That's
Yeah, but you don't.
and
But
I
there's a
really
pose.
and I really shouldn't have to hide them. Like
You
honestly.
shouldn't. I'm not saying you do.
We're not
I'm
saying
just
that. We're saying
the
there's a
reason you're
different
getting the
reason
response
behind it.
that you're getting is because the feel of the campaign that you have launched.
There's a
That's all
pose
I'm
that
saying.
you do. You know what I'm saying? When you have to take a picture and you're trying to look cute, there's a pose that you're going to be doing. They see that. It's not the perception of the other person. It's
You
you
know
all
what you're
out of
sending
it.
out there.
You know, it's the person that looking
It's
at
sexually-
that.
it's
How they
sexual
perceive that
undertones
is
all
like,
day.
boom, okay. Well,
That's because
that was
everything's
kind of
sexualized. I can't take a damn picture
Yes, you
because I have
can.
because I have big titties. I cannot take a damn picture because I have big titties and they are there because everything is sexualized. Because women are objects. That is
I
literally
take-
what
hold
y'all
on.
just
I
said.
take pictures, and when I'm in Super J's form, Super J don't even have no titties, so they're gone.
But women are objects. It doesn't matter if you have them or not.
But what I'm saying is, it's not your breast that's the problem.
It's just the fact that I'm a female and
No,
I'm an
it's not.
object.
It's not.
It is.
I think
Females are
sometimes
objects.
females objectify themselves,
Mom,
and
females are
sometimes
objects.
they don't. Not if you don't accept being an object.
I don't accept being an object, which is why I take the pictures I do, because I love my body and I accept my body, and there's no need for me to wear certain things like a freaking blanket
All I'm
all the
telling you,
time.
Kara, you're like, why are they sending me these pics? Because
I'm not
they
saying
believe
why.
you've asked for them.
I'm not saying why. I'm saying stop. It's gross.
Okay. Well, every time somebody sends you one,
You-
blast them out in public.
Yeah.
Tell them they're gay. Saying they're gay is not going to help. Put them on
Blast.
public blast. Say, okay, you want me to share this, obviously. You're sharing with me, so you really want me to share your
Yeah.
dick pic. Boom. Here it is, world.
That's
Here's
what I-
Joe's.
I've done that before.
Here's Joe Dumbass and his
That's
dick
just, I
pic.
blast
No, I've
it.
done
I don't
that
try
before.
to insult them personally. I let people do that shit for
That's
me.
right
No,
here.
I've
Here
done
you
it
go.
before.
Tell us what you all think about this.
You know, I don't insult nobody personally because it's not worth my energy to do so. So I'm about to just let everybody else go at that because I'm like, okay, what do y'all feel about this? And I'll let it. I just let it go.
But the funny thing is, and Eddie said it best, if you're going to send a dick pic, you're sending it to people who ask you for it.
Yeah.
And that's the point. Not one of y'all have ever, nobody has ever, obviously from Yakira or myself, been requested a dick pic. But what happens is some of y'all ask, because they know I'll ask them now. They're like, "Can I send your pic?" I'm like, "No, I don't need your picture. I don't need it." And what good is that going to do to me? And you're way across on another side of the world.
Exactly.
That's what I've always thought about. I'm like, I don't
It's like,
know.
what am I supposed to do
I'm
with
not
this picture?
into making myself happy that much with pictures. In fact, that don't even make me happy. I'm gonna go look. You're gonna send me your picture, and I'm gonna go find another dude to have sex with. How about that?
I said the same exact thing.
That's always my question. That's always my question.
My friend said the same exact thing as well. Because I'm like, I don't get no enjoyment out of a picture. I'm sorry. Even as a guy, I like to be mysterious. Like, especially if there's a girl I might be interested in, something like that. I'm like extra mysterious because I don't need you to know nothing about me necessarily right off the bat. Because then it's like like you said, the mystery's just kind of gone. The mystifying factor is just gone, and there's no
the revealing of the clothes
yeah.
coming off.
Like,
no
there's
longer
no
there.
build up no more. So I'm like, yo, I don't need any pictures right now. If eventually we get to a point where that's where we're at, and you request one of me, or I request one of you, which I don't really do actually, just because it's just. I don't know. I think I would request actually being with you versus requesting a picture.
Because that just like leaves way too much. What's the word? Paint up. Like,
yeah, it's like I don't
need. Like I'm.
So if I need you, I want
something.
you. I don't need the picture. I need you, not the picture, but
exactly.
You. There's a difference. Like I'm not about to ask for that. About the picture. Bring that ass here now. I need you. There's a difference. I don't like all that.
Somebody needs to show up in his space, because Jonathan, he's real energetic now.
Yeah,
You know,
y'all need some females, please.
Oh, I have females.
He don't need no females.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
But anyway, yeah, it's just like, what am I gonna do with this picture? Like, honestly,
what
is
is
the need?
I don't need no female.
Eddie said that's just pathetic when you gotta ask to send one.
That's what I'm saying. Like, come on
That's
now.
good. No, it's not pathetic.
No.
It's
I don't
because
think you
it's
should,
respectful.
period.
No,
It is respectful.
It's respectful
yes.
because if you just send me a pic and I've not requested it, now I'm offended.
Yeah.
Well,
I
no,
feel
I'm
like
saying
that's you've sexually offended me.
I say it this way: you shouldn't be sending one. Period. If I sent one, that's because you specifically asked, and I'm trying to make you happy, possibly in a relationship, because I know that's what you like. Other than that, that's it.
So let me say this:
The most that I would want to see in a picture for a guy is his torso. I don't want to see anything below the belt.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like,
Especially if he has
I
abs.
don't really. I don't like it for myself, but I know how some people, like certain people, that's just their thing. Like there's certain girls out there in a relationship, that's just their thing. Whatever.
because that's
You
all
know.
they feel that's what
Yeah,
they
it's
have
like
to
whatever.
offer.
I'm like, okay. Cool.
There's so much more to me to offer than a picture of
Oh no, I'm
any
not
part
talking
of my
about
body.
them offering a picture. I'm talking about them asking for one. And I'm like,
Like,
okay,
that's their thing.
yeah, like that's their thing because
I would be careful
they
with
would.
that.
And I'm like, okay.
I would be careful with
I
that.
don't really like that.
So let me tell you guys,
Anybody.
this not one person, not one, in the history of Super J can pull out a nude photo of me. Not one person. All right? And it's because I will not give you a nude photo. You can kind of sneak one if you try, but you're not getting a nude photo of me. I think that's my private me, and I control my image. You don't. No man, no person controls my image when it comes to that. I control that. Now, be happy if you get to hook up, because I guarantee you the real thing is going to be so much better than the picture anyway. So I'm with John. I don't understand the picture. Pictures don't turn me on. Actually, the pictures annoy me. That's what they really do, and that's why I come out so.
Why do they annoy
vibrant.
you? What do you mean annoy?
Okay,
They are annoying.
Well, let's just say
What do you
say
mean,
it is
though?
somebody that I want to be with.
Yeah.
You send me a damn picture, like John, bring your ass over here.
So it's
What
sexually
do I do with
frustrating, is what you're saying.
That on top of it's like
sort of.
it's almost like
Like, why
suggesting
do you
something,
send me a
but
picture? That's
motherfucker, we together now. Like I don't need what is that supposed to be asking? Is that what you're trying to bring it over here? What if we together? There shouldn't be no asking.
Even
I should
if
be able
I'm
to
not
jump on you and
together,
that's, what's
even
up?
if we're not together, and we are engaged in some form of relationship, your picture is not doing
That's what I mean by
anything
together.
for me. It may annoy me. It may deter me. Be careful sending dick pics. Like Yakira said, you better be careful. Because you send one, you end up getting cut loose.
You really will.
Because she doesn't feel impressed at all.
Either that, or you'll just get blasted all over the
It's like, I remember.
It is a dangerous game at this point. Like, my generation, we are ruthless. So if you send a dick pic, it is a high, like, and we didn't ask for it, like, the female did not ask for it. It is a high, like, probability that all of her friends are going to see it. All of her friends' are going to see it. Your buddies are going to see it. It's like, everyone's going to see that picture. Everyone's going to have something to say about it. And that almost seems like it's bullying, but it's like, it's a violation for you to send it to me and I didn't ask for it. That was disrespectful. It was a violation, and it's like, that's it's just disgusting.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, for me personally, I wouldn't, and I tell a lot of people, I'm like, look, that's just not what I do. Sorry, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just not me. I understand it, but it's not me. Now, if that's the thing, I'm not judging, because I understand the value for some people. I understand it. And that's why I'm like, I'm not going to judge you if that's what you like. If you wanted to send one, to me,
exactly.
I mean, it's not going to be like I'm not going to be disgusted with you, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be disgusted with you, you know what I'm saying? It's not going to, like, deter me.
I will be disgusted.
I'm being ready to vomit.
Yeah, I'm like, that's what I'm saying. Like, for me, it's like, it won't like, disgust me, or it won't do that. But at the same time, it's not necessarily, like, what's about to turn me on either.
Exactly.
It's not, because I think that's what some people, at least with relationships I've had, that's what they thought, and I was like, well, no, I mean, I don't mind them, they're nice, whatever, but I see you in person, so it's like...
Impression of breaking them down, like, yeah, that wasn't too impressive.
Well, no, it's like, you are impressive, but I like you know, so there's the difference. The picture does nothing for me necessarily. It's still nice to look at, because I already have looked at you, and I like looking at you, but the picture's not going to do nothing.
Okay.
And one more thing, hold on, wait, before we end this, because I know we have been on here for a long time. There is something, since we are speaking of pictures, there is an issue, and these people are actually married. It's the Rob and Black China issue. And he actually has a restraining order on him because he did revenge porn. So what happened was, China cheated on him, she had infidelity issues, and so they were going to get a divorce, but she was mad, or Rob was mad that he got finessed and he got cheated on by Black China with like 8 different men. So she was like, Jesus.
Yeah, she was bad.
Yeah, no, she finessed his ass.
No, he was stupid.
He was stupid.
Ego was
that's why I said
she
finessed
him. She didn't finesse him. He was stupid. His ego was way out of hand.
Finessing.
No, it's not. Finessing is when you really manipulate. His ego was so far out of hand, he didn't think he could get tricked.
And that's why you use that.
It wasn't finesse. He walked into that. He walked into that. He's just stupid. But
anyway, so she sent him. First of all, she's a stripper, so I don't really know why she's gonna make it seem like her nudes being out is such a huge deal, because it's like, bruh, there are nudes of you everywhere. You were a stripper. But anyway, he posted her nudes like on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, everywhere, and billions of people saw them. And so she decided to get a restraining order on him and all this other stuff. So I'm saying, you guys sending these things really is dangerous, and it can get to the point where, like, it's not, it's dangerous. It really is. It's just like
California too, because if he was here or any of the other states going east, he's actually would have actually had a bigger lawsuit on his hands for that.
Really?
Yeah, revenge porn is actually a lawsuit. Like, you can get.
Well, it's illegal.
Well, it's illegal to the point where you can go to prison for it.
I feel like
well,
he must go to jail.
Here's the thing.
But I think it's just because he has money that he's not. I think that's the only reason he's not going to jail in California.
Well, we are going to keep with our theme, and that is sharing the love. I want to say, because we have been on here an awful long time, guys.
2 hours.
I try to, it just,
the sex talk goes on for a while.
But when the audience is participating too, which we love, I just want to say thank you to everyone who came on today. Thank you for all of those of you who participated. You made it so much more enjoyable and fun. I laughed a lot
Mhm.
because you guys really, I have to go through, and I'm sorry that we couldn't read all of the messages or, all of the information, but we will go through and read every last one.
Yes.
Because that was just funny to me. And some of it we will talk again. I guess we got to carry on. We're not done.
Yeah, some of
We
our
just gotta-
devices died, so it became difficult to
Well, see,
see
we
what
wouldn't
you guys
see
were saying.
anymore.
Yeah.
So
And that's what I'm saying too. Also, just enjoy yourselves. Because if you enjoy yourselves 9 times out of 10, you don't really need to worry about time.
oh hush, I need to worry about time. Because I know it's enjoyable for me to, for us to do this show, but we do try to be respectful of people's time.
Yeah, I'm just
So we
Come
thank
on.
you guys that some of you came in and out. Some of you have been with us from the beginning of this discussion.
Yeah.
We are actually on week 59, everyone,
Mhm.
which means we have had 59 consecutive weeks,
Yes.
not missing a one yet. And next week will be 60 weeks. That for me is amazing. It's so exciting. It's been so fun. I loved today's stream because there was so much participation. So those of you who will come back next week, 2 p.m. Pacific time, what is it, 5 p.m. I'm like, what's 3 hours? 5 p.m. East Coast or Eastern Standard. We'd love to have you here. We're probably going to have to continue and pick up on some of these things. The sex toys thing was a piece there.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about oral sex in this one.
Oh yeah, we were supposed to be talking about oral sex. We didn't even touch on that. Well, it was really sex in general over versus intimacy, but we did
So
mention that
maybe
we would
next-
talk about oral sex last week, and we didn't even get into that this week. So
Maybe
there's
next
so much
week we
more
can talk
to
about what's
about.
pleasurable.
Pleasure, pain versus pleasure. They like pain. I'm into pleasure.
That's a fine line.
I'm into
Sorry,
pleasure.
that's a fine line.
These. So yeah, we can even get into that. The pain-induced erotica. It's not erotic for me. Pain is not fun for me at all. If anybody actually tries to get with me and tries to slide that in, be very careful. That's all I'm saying.
I'm sure they can throw in a spanker too. Come on now.
Spanking is not that's not painful. I'm talking, no, it's not. If you hit me with something, maybe. Yeah, now like
It stings. What the hell?
I got
spanking is not really
You
painful.
better ask people.
Well, like I said, if you're hitting me with something, like you got
A
a
hand.
no.
they can't.
They
Look,
pretty
if you hit me hard enough with your hand that it hurts me, you are gonna get knocked the fuck out. I'm saying. I don't care. I don't care what kind of intimate engage. If you literally hit me hard
The
enough
holy heavenly
to
fist gonna
hurt
come
me,
down and knock you the
you're
fuck out.
gonna get knocked the fuck out. I'm sorry. It's just gonna happen, and it's gonna
Well, it was
be
working,
instant.
right?
It's not even gonna be because I tried. It's not even gonna be because I was trying to do that. I'm just letting you know. But no man
Reflex
that
knockout.
no male that I've ever been with has hit me so hard that I was gonna knock him out, like for real. So, I was in my 40s before I encountered one thing. Who knows? I might be well into my 50s, going to 60 before a man tries to hit me so hard that it hurts me. I don't care if I'm 60. I don't care if I'm 70. Don't do it. I'm just saying. Because if I am too weak to fight you, trust me, I'm going to be able to pick something up. And one of us is going to sleep. One of us is going to sleep. So I'm just saying, it's not going to be fair. Whatever it is, it's not going to be fair. All right. But we love you guys. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Yeah, it is Sunday the 16th, and we're gonna.
My birthday's in a month.
Yes, Yakira turns the
Hey.
big 18 on August 16th.
Nipple
So,
piercing.
if all minds are clear,
You're all good.
we
Yeah,
will
I'm
bid
good.
you all adieu. Thank you so much. Smooches, everybody. See you next
Bye.
week.
Deuces.
You're silly.